Look who's back. It's your favorite. It's Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. I would guttural yell for you, but I don't know, man. I need to save my pipes. I'm still a little bit under the weather. If you guys want to, have at it.
Ready? Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Yeah! Whoa, that was hot. Sounded great. Nice little 3-game winning streak for our San Diego Padres. It is Friday. We're going to get our heads right today. I'm staring down the barrel of a very, very long afternoon, but that's all right, man. Happy to be here, wrapping up my trip to Texas. I'm Woodsy. Paul Reindl is your executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well, buddy. And Benjamin Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Hello, Benjamin.
Good morning. I thought I started to take the guttural screams a little bit for granted, and then when we didn't get one for a week, it's nice to break one out again.
Well, that's your fault. We used to do it after every win, and you changed the rule to at least every series win.
And then, World Series win.
But now we appreciate them, like I said.
Wednesdays and Thursdays and no Fridays or whatever, but we figured it out. But I was thinking about it this morning as I woke up at 1:00 Texas time and laid there in bed for a while. I ended up falling back to sleep. Yes, 1:00 a.m. Texas time.
You woke up. That's not when you went to bed. That's when you woke up.
No. That's when I woke up. And I woke up and I went, what time is it? And I was like, oh, my God, it's 1.
I went to bed at 1:00 Texas time last night.
So it's 11 p.m.? Holy crap.
I woke up and I laid in bed for a while, and I started thinking about, this show and what was to come and the day ahead and all that and how, in the way that this show is set up, it's a bit like a sitcom, and then we've talked about it before. And, this week in the Ben and Woods sitcom has been, it's been a bit of a dark week, and even your favorite sitcom, no matter what it was, had some dark times. And that's definitely what we all kind of went through this week. I'm home, visiting my dad who had cancer surgery. My mom's in remission. My grandmother is out here. She had a mini stroke when we were in Hawaii. I don't even know if I've mentioned that, but get to see her. And, on and on we go, Ben, the stuff with your son this week, it has really been like a kind of a dark week for the Ben and Woods program. But, as it always does, the sun rises and we are here and we are together again on a Friday. So, the Padres are winning. That certainly helps a little bit. But yeah, it's just been a really interesting kind of down week for the program, but I'm proud of how we've soldiered on. Thank you guys for being here and hanging out with us and making us your show of choice. It means a lot to us. And just the update for what went down yesterday when I got off the air and my mom and I went to meet my dad. He had an eye appointment first. So then we went to his urologist where they had done the surgery and they were going to let him know, has the cancer spread or did we get it all? And the good news is they got it all. And no more cancer. The PSAs are down. And so obviously really great news. It was, I will say being in the room, for that was really, really special. And I'm really glad I came and I got to be there for that because, you feel the relief, you see the relief and knowing, okay, now I just got to heal for my dad, now I just got to heal. I gotta continue to, do the right things and exercise and all that. But I think that the happiest I saw him yesterday was when the doctor told him, "Hey, and you're free to chip and putt." And you could see his eyes kind of light up because he had, stitches and his belly, like I said, it looked like he got hit with a cannonball. But he's healing up. And the guy said, yeah, if you want to go out and chip and putt a little bit. Feel free to do that. So he's been cleared for golf activities. Now, I don't think he's going to be taking any big rips with the driver, even the 7-iron right now. But for a guy like him who lives literally on a golf course and has to sit and watch people golf all day long, he's really excited to be able to get back and do some golf activities. And I think it lifted his spirits. And so it was obviously a really cool moment to be there for that. I'm really glad I came. And I'm glad that I get to go home today and see my boys because I miss them terribly. And my wife, I know she's watching. I miss you as well.
Well, we're all incredibly relieved and happy
news
for Gary. I am curious, though, because, I mean, I know when, like, you just have, like, a meeting with your boss and you don't know what's it about, how, like, nervous you, like, get going into something like that. What is it like going in, like, to the office and knowing one way or another this news that I'm going to get is going to hugely impact me, like positively or negatively, and I'm going to have, I might have to deal with something immensely consequential, or I might have this giant weight lifted off my back, and I don't really know which one was it going to be.
It was pretty heavy. Luckily for us, like, when we got to the waiting room, we didn't have long. I mean, we sat down, met my dad there, and within 5 minutes, they had called us back. Now, the girl that called us back, I'm reading everything I can. I'm reading my dad's body language. I'm reading her body language. And she opens the door, and she's like, okay, you guys are going to be in here. And I've noticed, like, the intonation, like the inflection in her voice. And I was like, why did she say it like that? If it was good news, wouldn't it sound like, Mr. Woods, so good to see you. Come on in. Y'all be right in. Doctor will be with you in a minute. And I go, she sounds negative. This sounds negative right now.
I'd be thinking the exact same thing. I'd be trying to analyze the inflection of what they were saying, not even knowing if she even knows what is going to be said.
We're
correct.
Yeah, you probably, I don't know. They probably can't even tell the receptionist or whoever what it's the doctor-patient privilege. So I don't even know.
Well, she was like the physician's assistant or whatever. So she scanned him and, and got his, like, height and weight and all that stuff or whatever. But I, the way she opened the door, the way she kind of ushered us in, I was really reading the body language and the way she talked. And again, I thought if it's good news, she would have said, hey, good to see y'all. Come on in. Here's your doctor will be in a second. And she didn't. So I started to panic.
It's kind of awkward because when you have the person, they've probably seen enough that they know the answer, but they will let the doctor deliver the news. Like, well, we'll Dr. So-and-so come in and share all the details with you. And then you start to panic because they probably know because they've seen the scan, but they're not the one that's really supposed to be delivering the news. So I can imagine you really start to spin out in a situation like that.
Well, I did a little bit, and I just kind of sat there quietly, and then the doctor came in, and what a trip, man. What a trip. He is, I love him. I mean, I just love him. He's about probably 5'9", 5'10". He's got white hair that's curly on top and like a mullet in the back, and kind of longish hair in the back. He's a total trip. He's got a white beard, and, he's got that Southern accent. Hey, Gary, how you doing, bud? He's like that, and so they start talking. Hey, so how's everything? How many times you urinating at night? And I'm like, get to the juice. Let's go. Like, how are the scans? Is there any more cancer? Has it spread? And so they're talking about, my dad's urinary habits and all that. So I'm listening to that. And finally he's like, yeah, hang on. The scans look great. Got everything. No more cancer. And I'm just like, oh, maybe you lead with that one. I don't know. But so it was interesting.
I don't know why, but I'm picturing from that description of the doctor. Do you remember Michael Jordan's bodyguard?
Like him.
From The Last Dance with the hair
without the
and
glasses.
Then he does the expression with his hands. Hey, I don't know. That's what I'm picturing with no glasses though.
He kind of looks like that with no glasses. But he was great, man. Everyone was so kind. And so, yeah, dude, they went down in there and they checked everything out. And again, he kind of showed us on the monitor, the reports and all that. And so, yeah, man, I think it's obviously it's great news. Now, he's got a long road ahead. He's got another surgery coming up, a vascular surgery, which is kind of gnarly in October. But, obviously, like the cancer one is the one that you worry about. You worry that it's spread, and they got everything they needed to get. So obviously it was a very happy day. And, I could feel a little bit of a weight lift off him, my mom, myself too. And, now it's just about him, taking his recovery as seriously as possible. And I know he's very excited to go putt and chip. I'm sure he didn't want to do anything. He's his diet. He can open up his diet, I think, a little bit more too. He's been eating a real bland diet. So it was good, man. It was a special moment. I'm really glad it came. But it was a hard week. It really was a hard week. And I said it last night. We did a live stream, and I don't mean this to sound the wrong way, but it really was really hard to care about baseball or really anything else this week. And, now that this is somewhat behind us, I think, all right, I can kind of get back to worrying about, the things that I need to worry about, my family and the Padres and everything else. But this week, honestly, it was a challenge. Ben, I know you felt the same way.
Absolutely. But at the same time, still care about the baseball team and how they're
Big
doing,
time.
and very happy that they've recovered to win 3 games in a row. We'll certainly talk about that. You missed, though, yesterday, a pretty interesting roundtable. I would have to rank it near the top of memorable roundtables that we've had here at 97.3 The Fan. Did you see some of it?
I did. We were driving to the doctor's office, and I had it on my phone. So I watched maybe 25, 30 minutes of it, and it was spicy. It was really, really spicy.
It was. I wanted to delve a little bit into especially Chris Ello's kind of reaction this week to the fan base, and how in our feels I think we've all been, and sometimes that gets directed toward us because we're a conduit from the fans to the team, and I totally get that, and we talked about it kind of in depth for a while. But what's your overall thought on that? Just the fact that we're kind of the buffer sometimes between the fan base and the team, and the fans will express their frustration at whatever it is. This week it happened to be lineup decisions from Mike Shildt, but it can be other things, and we're always kind of that layer sometimes between Padres fans and the actual players and coaches, because they can't really directly communicate with them, but we can from time to time.
What's my thought on what exactly?
Well, sometimes fans can be a little unreasonable with what they ask or expect of us as radio hosts. We're not making the decisions for the team, but at the same time, as I said during the roundtable, it's important that we provide that, though, that outlet. Fans need that outlet. Fanatic fan, you're not always going to be reasonable. And I wanted to talk to Chris about that, understanding that to be a passionate fan, sometimes reason gets left at the door. It just does.
I leave reason at the door all the time. I can't tell you how many times we've been talking before a show and you've gotten logical. And I've just said to you, how many times, Ben, have I said, Ben, I don't care. Just win a baseball game. You know what I mean? Which is a really, really easy way to just throw everything out the window. And I think there's a place for that. I do. Now, I don't think there's a place for expecting that 162 times a year. I don't. I have a lot of theories. I am a fan first before I am a conduit to the fans. And so I get as frustrated. I get as angry. I get as complacent as every fan does. I really do. And there are days where I'm like, ho hum, we lost. BFD, I don't care. Then there are games that absolutely wreck my soul, and I start biting the heads off of my children, at home, metaphorically. And I'm like, well, that's stupid. That, you got to find that happy medium. Here's what I will say. And I know we've known Chris a long time, worked with him many times. I think sometimes we as hosts can get really dug in on ideas, and we all want to be right. But I think, at the same time, I don't think any listener or any fan wants to be told that they don't know what they're talking about. And there's an art form to the debate, to say, hey, that's an interesting thought. Here's my counter to it. And I think in that case, sometimes it just snowballs on you, man. I got into a Twitter battle with this guy early in the season. And I say battle, it really wasn't. It was a conversation. But by the end of it, he goes, dude, you never relent. You never, ever relent. My wife would probably tell you the same thing. And I sat there and I listened and I go, bro, we're talking about his pitch selection of throwing a changeup, which is his best pitch. This is my stand. If we're in a court of law, that's going to be what I'm standing. I'm trying to stand on business that I don't mind him throwing that changeup there. I don't mind him throwing 3 changeups in a row. And he was like, dude, you never, ever relent. You never see anybody else's side. And I go, thank you. And I wrote him a DM and I go, thank you. I said, you're probably right. And I will try to do better. And it was really kind of eye-opening for me. So I think it's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be right. As long as you can admit both and do both gracefully, I think you're in good shape. But I don't know, man, like the audience, our listeners mean a ton to me. They put food on our table. Some of them are so unreasonably bananas, but we still have to make room for those. That's kind of my point.
And I think one thing that is hard to remember when we're arguing whatever side of a debate that we're arguing in sports, there rarely is a 100% right and 100% wrong answer. We're usually arguing very much on the margins. One day, it might be absolutely right to have Luis Arraez batting second, and because he's there, they win the game. And then the next day, it might be the absolute wrong thing. You're trying to decide over the long run. Are we going to have a 53% chance of doing something well here or 47%? And you're really arguing kind of on tiny margins a lot of the time, which means both sides are going to have really good points that they're going to make. And no one's going to be entirely right or entirely wrong in any sports argument that you try to make.
I will say this, man, as that thing drove Chris crazy enough to snap a little bit. The thing that makes me snap the most as a host and really as a fan too, even if I'm talking with my buddies, I don't like the hindsight machine. The hindsight machine to me is the one that makes me bananas. That's the one where it's like, your closer comes in, he gives up a homer. Well, he pitched, he already pitched. He threw 14 pitches yesterday. We could have gone to blank. It's so easy to say, in the moment after it's already happened. So that one to me kind of bugs me a little bit, but that is also the nature of sports. If you run when you should have passed and you passed when you should have run, everybody thinks they knew the right answer, of course, after the play is over. And, I think, like Dub J says, that's why Shildt gets frustrated with questions about the lineup. I agree. I'll tell you what. I think everybody this week did I think this week was annoying. I think it was really, really annoying. And it's probably even going to get more annoying at 9 o'clock when we talk to Mike Shildt. Because I think Shildt is a guy too. He's pretty set in his ways. He's pretty, bullish on what he believes. I kind of want that from my manager. I do, but I also want him to be able to listen to other points of view and perspectives. And I don't think that's too much to ask for a host, a manager, a fan, whatever. But I thought this week was very stressful. It was very stressful personally and professionally. I'm glad it's coming to an end. But yeah, I'm thankful for everybody that listens to this radio station and this program. I'm thankful for Chris Ello for putting it out there like that. But I do, we can all do a better job. Fans can do a better job of fanning, and we can do a better job of hosting and listening.
And by the way, we may have to go through it all again next week as well, because we're pretty much heading into the exact same weekend again, except it's all happening down here at Petco Park rather than up at Dodger Stadium. We will definitely talk all about it coming up as we head toward 10 o'clock this morning. Let's check Kelly's traffic, and then we'll set the menu for the Friday edition of Ben and Woods here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water. Good morning. Looking at a pretty quiet one all around the county. Just one thing to watch out for. There's a crash on La Jolla Village Drive off-ramp, southbound 5. A couple vehicles involved are exchanging info over to the right shoulder. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all of their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Just quickly, Woods, I'm slightly distracted at the moment. If you don't know, we're obviously streaming on YouTube as we do every single morning, and we can see ourselves on the YouTube stream as we're talking. And I have, and I don't know why, and this hasn't happened in many, many years, I have this giant blemish right on my nose, like the center of my nose. Can you see it, Woods? Like a big...
No, I wish
like
I
zit.
could. I can't see it.
It's a zit right here on my nose.
Can you,
it's red.
Can you scroll in?
I don't know how close we want to get.
I can't get real close.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Back up. There it is, right there. Stay right there. Stay right there.
God. Right there.
Wow.
Don't move. Whoa. What in the world?
I don't know exactly what caused it. Feel like I might need to see a dermatologist or something, but it's just staring me right in the face on our YouTube stream.
And your eyes cross to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you see it on your nose and you're going to be just staring at it for the rest of your day.
Exactly. I need some sort of skin patch or maybe just my makeup from television that I can hide it from myself, but it is bothering me. It doesn't hurt.
I'm actually but I'm actually surprised that you didn't put some makeup on. My wife in the chat, I knew she was going to pop up. You need a zit sticker.
Yeah.
She's got these little stars. And if I get one, she just pops it on my head and I walk around with it on. And sometimes I go out in public and forget that it's on.
I feel like I haven't gotten a zit in decades.
The rally zit. I like this. All right.
The rally zit.
Carlos, here's a quarter. Go downtown and have a rat gnaw that thing off your face. I'm Molly Russell's wart. That is so not her wart. Benny, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's not good.
I wouldn't have noticed, but when he got up real close, I went, "Oh no, it's like a third nose, second nose." Most people don't have two noses.
It's not great for sure. Fortunately, I don't have to be on television again until Monday, but I hope by Monday it's calmed down a little bit. It's so centrally located, like Rudolph. I mean, I could guide Santa's sleigh here with this thing.
You guys remember when I would get the ingrown I'd get the ingrown hair and one side of my nose would turn bright red and I would like get on the air and I'd be like, I gotta cover. I would put like mascara, not mascara, but like cover up on it. It's a nightmare, dude. I'm sorry. It's one of the days that you wish we weren't on YouTube. But
exactly.
I don't know that I would have noticed it from here. So this is on you for bringing it up. Now I'm going to be staring at it the whole day. So good. Ben and Wart on 97.3 The Fan. Hey man, if that thing brings us good luck, then we will take it.
Rally
wart. Wow, now I see it up close. It's got a little white head right at the top of it. That is not attractive at all.
Gnarly.
That is not attractive at all.
It's right in the middle.
Yeah.
And you're going to sit here on the air, live to your friends and all of your audience, and you're going to tell us that thing doesn't hurt even a little?
I don't feel it. I just see it.
It looks painful.
I think I'd rather have it be painful but invisible than as visible as it is.
Jay in the middle says, "Oh, that's what the grilled cheese sees when Ben is about to eat it." Holy cow, dude! It is so good. Well, I'm sorry about that, man. I'm sorry.
Let's take a timeout. We got our Padres wrap up. 3 in a row coming up. I will set the menu right before the wrap up, but we got to get to our first break here on the morning. Tier 1s, thank you for being with us. Ben Woods and Paulie on a Friday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, I will not be able to stop thinking about that all day, fellas. But listen, this weekend, if you're out and about, obviously Labor Day is approaching. It's a great time to buy a new car. Get in the car or truck of your dreams. And might I steer you in the direction of Sedano Ford, local and veteran-owned dealership over in La Mesa. Beautiful facility. Check out Sedano Ford and Lincoln in La Mesa with their incredible Labor Day savings all month long. Got a buck, get a truck. The all-electric 2025 Ford Lightning, just $1 down, $349 a month. Or take that same dollar bill or another one. Go all-electric in the 2025 Mustang Mach-E Select, just $310 a month. And if you've been waiting for the luxury upgrade, Want to go a little fancier? The Lincoln Corsair Premier, just $449 a month. Comfort, class, and confidence in every drive. They got everything there that you're looking for. Labor Day's about hard work. Your reward is waiting for you at Sedano Ford and Lincoln in La Mesa. Check out SedanoFord.com to lock in the Labor Day savings all month long when you go. Tell them Woodsy sent you, please. And for more details, visit Sedano Ford or SedanoLincoln.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
During the break, I went to the Dr. Pimple Popper YouTube stream. I have never watched the show before.
Why would you do that?
I've never watched the show before. I've seen, passed it on my cable guide many times. People must watch that program, and I just got to ask the question: why? Why would anyone put themselves through that and watch other people have their skin? I watched like 10 seconds and it was some of the most disgusting stuff I have ever seen. They actually put that on television.
I could have told you, just stay away.
I didn't know.
Hey,
yeah, people.
Can I recommend
Beatrice in the chat says it's very satisfying. People must. They wouldn't put it on television if people didn't really enjoy watching it at a visceral level.
Can I recommend to you for the weekend viewing Faces of Death? Just try that as well. Holy cow, dude! I would rather watch almost anything than somebody's pimples popping. It's so repugnant to me, and especially the big ones. Like, I just can't do it.
Oh, I didn't realize there was like a bowling ball sized one. Like, I couldn't believe it.
Just put me out of my misery if that ever happens to me. Just put me out of my misery.
It is very.
So
I can
gross.
already see in our YouTube chat very polarizing between the people who, like us, you couldn't pay me to watch the show, and others who absolutely love it and just can't get enough of seeing other people's skin being treated by Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah, Faces of Death was a real player back in the 80s. You guys remember that, Ben? Did you have that at your school where like a couple of kids, they had the VHS tape of Faces of Death and they eat monkey brains in it, and it's like all these different scenes from around the world. It's just I think you could rent it, but I think it was in like the back room of the local video store, not Blockbuster or Hollywood Movies. It was like, Fred and Tina's video store that you had to go in the back.
Dan's Video Shack.
Yeah, Dan's Video Shack, and you had to go in the back behind the curtain, and it had like all the Faces of Death movies.
Oh.
Your buddy's brother had to rent it because you're too young. Like, it was that, man. It was Dan and Tina's Video Shack, by the way. It's incredible.
Dude, I'm just thinking now, like, so, I was born in 90. So my whole life was Blockbuster. The title is Blockbuster, and I can't believe you mentioned Hollywood Video. I haven't even thought of them in 20 years. But it was those two. Those were the places to go. And it's like, what a ambitious endeavor it seemed like to own a mom and pop owned video store in that time, right? Like, honestly, you're going up against the two juggernauts.
Honestly, one of the best jobs I ever had was at a video. Dad, he's in the other room. I think it was called, if I'm not mistaken, it was called Cox Video, COX. I worked at Cox Video. I know how it sounds, but it was just a regular.
What'd you do there?
It was just a regular.
What kind of movies did you have?
Just a regular video store. I swear to God, COX. It was right on the corner. It was right next to a Taco Bell. Cox Video. And when they hired me, I was so stoked to get that gig. I don't know why, but I thought, hey man, I was probably 17 or something. I thought working at the video store was going to be all the movies I can watch, man. Like, come on. It was ridiculous. Having to put stuff back and rewind them and deal with people that didn't want to pay their late fees and stuff, nickel and diming me to death. I made it all in 6 months. And then I think I just no-showed when I quit. I think it was one of those. It was so bad. I was like, you can call me all you want. I'm not answering. I'm not coming back to work. So, yeah, old Cox Video gets you real good.
Now, you go to the warehouse. They sometimes have at least movies you could buy. They didn't rent them, though. That was mostly music to buy, right?
Yeah,
the warehouse.
Yep. Yeah.
Where did you get your music? Did you go local or Sam Goody or the warehouse, or where were your? What was your?
Sam Goody, the mall, or whatever record store was in the mall. Then they had a couple downtown Dallas that you would go to buy like imports of your favorite band, like the Cult or the Smiths, and they would have them on CD. So you'd go pour through those. Much easier these days. Much easier.
All right. Here's what we got coming up on the program on a Friday. We'll get into yesterday's 8-4 win over the Giants with all the highlights in our Padres wrap-up coming up in just a moment. We will also have our Friday guest. Darren Smith will be with us at 7:35 to talk both SDFC and Padres. Big game for SDFC tomorrow against Portland coming to Snapdragon Stadium. If SDFC wins or draws, they will clinch a playoff spot already. Wow. First team potentially to clinch a playoff spot in the
Look at
MLS
those
Western
guys.
Conference in their very first season of existence. Pretty good year for Mikey Varis's crew. And we'll talk with Darren Smith coming up at 7:35 this morning. And, of course, it is a Friar Friday, which means the Manager's Report with Mike Shildt is coming your way at 9 o'clock. The Manager's Report refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. In and around the interviews and the Padres talk, we'll have our regular features. Don't do this at 7:20. A little take on Woods, chance to qualify for the trip to Las Vegas at 8:20. And Paulie will wrap things up with some headlines in our Rindle Report before we get out of here at 10 o'clock. I don't know that Woods is going to make it all the way until 10 because he does not want to miss his flight back to San Diego from DFW.
No.
And you got to make your way through the Metroplex and Friday traffic, as it were. And you're not even that close to Dallas where your parents live either.
No, I'm like 2 hours away. So it's going to be a fun one.
All right, so let's check traffic, and then we'll come back with our Padres wrap-up. Another win for your San Diego Padres over the Giants, finishing 10-3 over the Giants this season. That is coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danek.
Traffic is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive through oil change. Accident has cleared La Jolla Village Drive off-ramp southbound 5. Now getting reports of some debris in middle lanes, northbound 15, right at the northbound 805 connector. Before you hit the beach, the mountains, or even the 5 this Labor Day weekend, be road trip ready with Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed. Stay in your car while they change your oil and check your tires, battery, and fluids. Coupons at SoCalOilChange.com. I'm Kelly Danek with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
Oh, yes.
It's the
Padres wrap-up.
Brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort with gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
I want to go fast, but I want to go slow, and I want to go deep.
Those is a triple for Matos officially. Now Kisner lines one to right. Fernando over towards the line. Can't get there. It's the plate on a hop. Now it kicks away from him. The run will score. Kisner trying for 2, and he's in ahead of the tag from Bogaerts. So the Giants go ahead on a triple and a double, 1-0 here in the third. And the pitch to Ramos is grounded to shortstop. That could be 2. Bogaerts flips to Cronenworth on to first. It is in time. So for the second time today, Ramos grounds into a double play. This one plates Kisner, and the Giant lead is 2-0. See if Arise runs from first base. He does. And he swings, loops it into shallow left center field. That's going to get down, and a base hit. Tatis will come in to score. Arise got a great read. He goes to third, and Manny Machado puts the Pods on the board. It's 2-1. Pitch on the way. Bogaerts swings, sends it in the air to left field. Pretty deep. Ramos measuring it up, coming in, making the catch. Arise is tagging. Here's the throw. No chance to get him. A sac fly for Xander Bogaerts, and a 2-2 game here in the fourth. Runners lead. Here's the pitch. He bunts it towards third base. Oh, it's a beauty. Picked up by Schmidt. Throw to first is wide, and it goes up the line. Laureano's on his way home, and the Padres take the lead. Now a little bit of a bobble in right by Matos, and Cronenworth will score. Oh, boy. 2 different errors on a bunt by Fermin. The Padres get 2, and they lead for the first time today. It's 4-2. Pitch here, laced into left center field. That's a base hit. Fermin has scored. Tatis is jogging home. Manny on his way to second base with a 2-run double. And the Padres have made it crooked here in the 5th inning. It's 6-2. Xander cracks it on the ground at third base and through into left field, a base hit. Machado will trot home with another run. O'Hearn going first to third, right in Ramos's face, and the Padres add on at 7-2. First and third, 2 outs. Padres with a 5-run lead, and Laureano muscles one on the ground through the right side and a base hit. O'Hearn will come in to score. Xander stops at second, and another here in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's 8-2. Pitch on the way to Bailey, and a swing and a miss. Couple of Ks for Suarez in a 1-2-3-9 as he closes the door on the Giants here in 2025. Padres take 3 out of 4 in this series. They finish the season 10-3 against the Giants, and they will head into this weekend series against the Dodgers trailing just one game behind LA in the National League West.
Today was one of the games that I enjoyed the most this year out of this team because we didn't start off with our A game. And that's going to happen. You're just going to have games like that. The human factor kicks in. But the championship clubs, the teams that they regroup really quickly. And so down early wasn't as pretty as we'd like, wasn't as clean as we'd like. And it was like, nah, let's do. Really proud of the group.
I played that exact same soundbite on Channel 10 last night. Mike Shildt saying one of his favorite games of the year, not because everything went perfectly. Obviously, it did not, Woods, with the way the Padres kind of started and stumbled their way, falling behind 2-0, but the way his team showed some resiliency, bounced back, and found another gear, because that's what you have to do in the postseason. You're not going to simply play dominant baseball every single night and turn leads over to your bullpen and then close them out every single game. You're going to have to face adversity. You're going to have to reach down a little bit deeper and find ways to win games where you don't always have your best stuff. And that's what the Padres did in yesterday's game.
Yeah, I mean, and again, like Dylan Cease remains somebody that is much maligned, I think, by the Padres fan base. But I will give him some credit because, A, he didn't let it spiral, right? And obviously getting some run support for him was huge, but not letting that inning just absolutely torpedo that team, I thought was huge. And look, there is nothing more frustrating for a pitcher to make quality pitches and to not get outs because of miscommunication, because of, funky spins or whatever, and Crony not being able to pick the ball up. And when it happens almost, I think, in succession, it can make you insane, I think, at any level. And I thought he did a good job at kind of managing his emotions. Probably wasn't very happy about it. I wasn't very happy about it. I think, it's one of those deals, Benny. He's the last guy on the planet that you can afford to do that with, right? He's the last guy on this roster, at least, that you can afford to kick the ball around or not communicate and drop a fly ball. And, he needs every margin. You have to, every inch you got to give for Dylan Cease. So I thought they did a fantastic job. And again, I haven't screamed against the bunt very much this season, just a few times. And in that instance, boy, 3 bunts in a row was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
That was wild to watch.
It was wild.
I was trying to think. I'm like, good God, when was the last time the San Diego Padres bunted 3 times in a row?
This is hysterical.
I don't know if I've ever seen that, honestly.
Yeah.
Freddie Fermin's an outstanding bunter.
He is.
And usually I would have said I don't want to see Fernando Tatis Jr. bunting, but since he's not been slugging a lot lately and he saw the third baseman so far back there, I mean, if they're going to give you a free hit and you can lay it down to keep an inning going like that, I think that was an actual very opportune moment for him to lay down that bunt. And it turned out to be true. I mean, that's what you need to do to put a 6 on a scoreboard in an inning, like the Padres did in the 5th with 11 batters coming to the plate.
Just real quick, since so much of the conversation this week has been about the lineup, I'm like, can you just imagine for a second what having like a Luis Ariz in the 7 or 8 hole could do? Because he does work good at bats and he can get on base. And if he can get on base with Fermin, who not only is such a great bunter, but he's so good at bunting 4 base hits, there's a good chance he can drop a bunt down and still get on. But if not, then you have a runner on second base for the top of the order every single time almost whenever Louis gets on, if he's in the 7 or 8 hole. I don't know.
It's a pretty good argument actually there, Paulie. I mean,
yeah, there is. And I liked this in talking about good ABs, Paulie. I love this that it was mentioned in Kevin Acey's daily newsletter. It's under the title Chipping Away. Jake Cronenworth with a 12-pitch AB. He was really frustrated.
Shildt talked about it for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, he wanted to talk about that before
that specific
anything else in his postgame.
I would have too.
Before
as a skipper, I would have too. I mean, and you saw. I mean, look, if you were watching the broadcast, Jake yelled a very loud expletive. We all heard it. Rhymes with duck. And he yelled it really, really loudly, and everybody heard it. But as he was walking by Ruben Niebla, Ruben goes, "You just took an inning off that guy." Like, it's so valuable, and it doesn't show up. Manny had a brilliant AB against Justin Verlander. I mean, the ABs that some of those guys turned in yesterday were outstanding. And, he said he still wasn't happy about it. But how about this number? That's his team-leading 26th plate appearance of at least 8 pitches. How frustrating was it for Dylan Cease when the Giants were fouling off all his pitches, driving his pitch count up? To have guys in your order that can do that and do it consistently, it's so valuable. It's so valuable.
Here's just a snippet of what Shildt said about that AB from Crony yesterday.
But that's the bat that, and when he came in, he's frustrated because he didn't end the way he wanted to. But I thought Ruben made a good point to him as he went by. It's like, you just took an inning off that guy. But whether he took an inning or not, the fact of the matter is he made the gas tank go a little more dry, and so that leads to the fourth, and then leads to the fifth.
It was it's something that Jake has done really well this season. And yeah, I think Jake's value has always been kind of more hidden than other players. We've talked about it a few times before, but Jake may not hit a ton of home runs. His average is, fairly mediocre to poor at 238, but he gets on base, whether by walk or hit by pitch. He takes good at bats. They don't always result in anything. And he goes out there and plays every day. He's going to make a couple of errors, but most of the time he plays pretty solid defense. He's a good baseball player. He is, especially for someone who's hitting at the bottom of your lineup. And Shildt wanted to point that out yesterday. I heard a stat, though, that I think really does indicate why the Padres in the postseason will be such a dangerous team in October. The number is 24. Yesterday was the 24th time this season that the Padres have gotten 4 shutout innings from their bullpen. And that is by far the most of any team in Major League Baseball. Their ability to shorten games and get leads after the 5th inning and then go on to basically just shut down the opposition the rest of the way is incredibly valuable. Now, bullpens are always going to give up a run here or there, and we've seen the Padres, all of them, Robert Suarez, Mason Miller, all of them, Jeremiah Estrada, they're going to give up runs here or there. Their ERAs aren't 0. They're 1 point something, 2 point something, but oftentimes they feed off each other to the point that one guy does it in the 6th, the next guy does it in the 7th, then the 8th, and then the 9th. And we saw that again yesterday. What a devastating sequence it can be for opposing teams to have to go through that gauntlet.
Yeah, no question. I mean, it's the formula for success for this team, and take some pressure off of the starters for sure. Knowing that in October, I mean, honestly, and that's the thing that they'll have to figure out. Obviously, it's all health dependent once we get there, if we get there, and who we play. But you're everyone's panicking. Oh man, I just can't run Dylan Cease out there in a playoff game. Well, what if I told you we only need 3 innings from Dylan Cease, and then we could kind of slam the door if we could find a way to get the lead. And this is how it's going to be. It's not the baseball that you dream of. It's not your ace going 7-8 innings in a game 1, and your closer coming in to close it out. It just doesn't go that way anymore. It's bullpen was built for that, and hopefully they come through, and hopefully they have a lead to protect, or at least very close, 1-2 runs or whatever. But yeah, man, they're pretty elite at what they do, Benny, and they showed that yesterday.
Yeah, Dylan Cease has earned his 4.71 ERA and his 6-11 record. He hasn't been good, but I do want to say that yesterday he did not deserve what happened. He should have had 5. He should have had 5 shutout innings going into the 6th. Yeah, threw a meatball to Devers that he hit a mile. The next at bat to was Adames with the home run, full count, put one, fastball on the outside corner, didn't want to walk him. It wasn't a bad pitch. Adames put a really good swing on it, and that was it for his day. But Dylan Cease was not bad yesterday. Dylan Cease was fine, And if he has good defense behind him, he probably ends up with a quality start in that game yesterday. I understand why Shildt pulled him after the 2 home runs, but it was actually a fine performance by Dylan Cease, and one that I was more encouraged by than discouraged by, even though the numbers in the end look kind of mediocre. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. It was better than that.
I was surprised he got tagged for the earned run on the ball that fell between Laureano and Tatis.
That was ridiculous to call that a triple.
Triple? I know.
I know the rule is like if it doesn't touch their glove,
it did touch his glove,
but it bounced right off his glove, 12 feet over to the wall. I was like, that's an error.
That was Tatis's fault, and he admitted to Laureano because he called it, and then for some reason at the last second thought Laureano was going to catch it when Laureano was good. Why? You called it. And then obviously it went off his glove. He knew that was his fault and that was his mistake. But fortunately, as Mike Shildt said, Padres were able to dig deeper and find a way to win that game and take the series and finish 10-3 against the Giants this season. Yeah, not a fun year here for Bob Melvin, especially the second half of the year. All right, we'll come back. More Padres talk. Got Don't Do This ahead as well, all here on The Fan. Had a chance to follow up yesterday after the show when I went to Channel 10 on the story that came out about the ESPN deal with Major League Baseball that's impending, could be announced next month. ESPN taking over the rights to MLB TV and the local broadcasting rights for the teams currently being produced by Major League Baseball, including the San Diego Padres. So, the idea is going to be that somehow next year, Padres games will be on an ESPN platform. Now, I was able to Zoom with Andrew Marchand of The Athletic, who came out with that report yesterday, and kind of ask him some more questions. But Woods, you saw it as well. There were definitely fans who were worried about what this might mean for how they can watch San Diego Padres baseball next year.
Yeah, Benny, but that doesn't make it any different really than since we started covering the team, I would say, right? Is that fair? Like every year before the season, we have, Eric Grupner on and we ask, hey, all right, so this is the standard. What's the best way to watch the San Diego Padres this year? At least for the last few years, certainly as TV deals have been in flux with Bally's and, going under and, had a really good deal with those guys, and they went under. Diamond Sports Group, all that mess. Now, they've been forced to adapt. They have with Padres.tv, and so now ESPN comes in, and I think if you're Eric Grupner and you're the team at the Padres, if this thing goes through, I think it's nothing but a rousing victory. I think it's something to celebrate,
right? I mean, ESPN ain't going bankrupt.
Exactly. Excuse me, guys. That's cold, man. I think that's exactly what everyone was kind of screaming at you to do, is to get a TV deal. We got to be players. And, with that, I think they realize, okay, yeah, we're going to get a TV deal. With that comes more responsibility for payroll and all that. It's all cyclical. And I haven't seen the numbers, Benny. I have no idea. I don't want to speculate what it's going to cost. But at the end of the day, as I've said all week, if it benefits the Padres and allows us to keep a winner on the field, I'm in.
So Andrew actually speculated, and he doesn't know, and they probably don't even know for sure what specifically it's going to cost. But he thought it'd probably be less than what Padres.tv is charging this year, because ESPN can make money other ways. And for people who were afraid of, he actually thought that they'd still want to make it available for cable and satellite subscribers as well.
I would assume so.
Because they get a lot of money that way from their cable and satellite subscriptions. They don't want cable and satellite to go away. They want to continue to rake in that money that whatever their chunk of your cable bill that goes to ESPN is, they don't want that to go away. So they're going to probably make an effort to make sure if you have cable like Woods and me or satellite, that you're going to find a way to easily consume Padres baseball.
There will be an alternate ESPN channel.
Right.
I think on Cox, I think it's channel 27 and 28 or ESPN 1 and 2. There will be a new ESPN channel. I would imagine. I don't know. But
something
similar
like
to how the Padres are on channel 83 right now. It's just a Padres
and if
channel.
You don't have that, then
if you don't pay for cable, you can get it directly.
Then you'll have to find a way to, you probably either have the option to get the ESPN app, which is expensive. It's $30 a month. It was launched yesterday, the official one. If you're a big sports fan,
it's out.
Yeah, it's out yesterday. Came out yesterday. $29.99 a month. ESPN, the app.
ESPN, it's like DTC.
But I have an app
something
called ESPN.
That's true. So you're going to have another app called ESPN if you want it. Now, if you're a big sports fan and you want all their Monday Night Football, Red Zone content, the basketball, NBA, WWE, it's probably worth it at some point too if you don't have cable and you're not getting it otherwise. But
I've got cable.
My guess is if you just want
a
Padres
month for all of that sports is a pretty good deal. If you're interested in you just said the NBA, Monday Night Football, ton of college football, you can get all of that without paying for cable, allegedly, for the $30 a month.
But there'll probably be a way to just get Padres as well. You couldn't care about anything with the Padres.
Yeah.
They'll probably have an option where you can just get the Padres streaming like you do this year on Padres.tv. Those details are still likely months away, but I did get a very concerned email from a viewer at Channel 10, a woman who was like, Does this mean Don and Mudd are going to be gone and they're going to be replaced by ESPN broadcasters? There's no indication that anything like that will happen. Don just signed a contract extension. The team hires the broadcasters. There would be no indication that ESPN would even be authorized to make any changes, even if they wanted to, with the Padres broadcast team. So in probably many ways, it will look and feel like it really always has for Padres viewers, the product. The graphics will probably be a little bit different. They might actually upgrade some new cameras and stuff because ESPN does have, obviously, the resources are almost unlimited when it comes to what they can produce on television. Wow. So, there are some potential benefits, obviously, for Padres fans in going down this road. And as Eric Grupner told us last week, and I pulled that quote from his appearance last Friday on the show, something big was coming that he felt would be able to help this team compete revenue-wise in ways they have never been able to do, even more so than these last 5 years when they've been much more financially competitive. He felt like what it was coming, and he didn't tell us what it was, but my guess is, putting 2 and 2 together, that he was talking about this potential ESPN deal. Sounded like it's really going to be a good thing for the Padres to be able to continue to pour resources into the roster and pay players and have a competitive payroll that they think gives them a chance to get to the playoffs and win the World Series most years.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, obviously, our opinions could change when it comes out, and we have no idea what it's going to look like. So it's pure speculation based on, what Eric said and then what Andrew Marchand said yesterday. So we wanted them to get a TV deal. Hopefully it's one that is very lucrative so that you do feel like you're in the ball game. And listen, at the end of the day, that's what every fan wants. They want to limit the excuses from ownership as to why they can't compete. Is that fair? That's what every fan wants. No fan wants to listen to ownership going, guys, we can't. We don't even have a TV deal. Like, what are we supposed to do? There's 5 teams in baseball being controlled by Major League Baseball. They're not getting the revenue other teams are.
I was just going to say, so what do you think Rockies fans are feeling like right now? Because they're in the same boat as Padres fans in the sense that they're getting this TV deal that we assume, we don't know, but we assume it's only means good things. Like, it's got to bring more money in than what they currently have. So, our Rockies fans going all right, now what are you going to say? Go out and get somebody.
Yes, Paulie. The Diamondbacks, the Rockies. I can't remember the other 2 teams that were.
Twins and the who was it?
Guardians.
Guardians is what I was going to say.
Maybe,
Bro,
yeah.
There's now, out of those teams you just listed, there's only one of those teams that really spends some serious cash, and that's the San Diego Padres. So, let's make it happen. Let's make it happen. And, it's time to hold those ownership groups to that same standard.
Now, I read yesterday in The Athletic, this deal has not been signed. It's all reported. It's expected to go down maybe as soon as next month. Is there any speculation on when this would go into effect, though? Is this I think after the CBA, after next season, or after this year?
Andrew said, I think it would start next year. Andrew said, and we've talked about this before, that the year that's circled on Major League Baseball's calendars is 2029. And that would be obviously post, CBA, lockout, whatever does happen in 2027. But 2029 is the year that pretty much every local TV deal is expired and could come up for renewal. So if they did want to do a more national combined package with teams kind of getting together and becoming a bigger media entity, that would be the year. Until then, it's all going to be piecemeal. And he said the biggest stumbling block, and we know this, to a more national deal is always going to be the Yankees and the Dodgers, because their TV deals, their local TV deals are phenomenal. They are correct. They are raking in billions of dollars from their local television revenue that they don't want to share with all the other teams, especially rivals like the San Diego Padres. Can you imagine if the Dodgers were forced to share, here's $150 million of our money that you can now use to spend on players to beat us and keep us from going to the World Series. It's the last thing the Dodgers want. They want to hold on to every single dollar they get from their Sportsnet deal as tightly as possible. And the Yankees want to do the same thing. but Major League Baseball's owners, because there are only two of them, there's 28 other ones, they're all going to put the screws to the Dodgers and the Yankees because the value of those teams is going to increase the value of a national streaming package for an ESPN. But if they don't get the Dodgers and the Yankees, it's never going to be worth what it could possibly be worth if it had every team involved.
Yeah, no question, man. And that's what you want. You want as level of a playing field in that respect as you can possibly get, knowing it's never going to be fully level. But, as close as you can get, hopefully it comes out and everybody's happy. Paying more money is not something anybody wants to face, certainly. But, this is kind of what we tasked them to do. We tasked them to go out and get a TV deal. And I think, if it all works out, then they've done that. And that then takes away, not that they do it, but takes away an excuse down the road. Well, we don't have the TV deal. Yes, you do. You've got the TV deal. You got 52 sellouts or whatever. Time to spend some money and let's get, multiple World Series parades going on here. So, I love it. I couldn't be happier. I'm going to support it if it is exactly kind of what I've built it up to be in my head. And I think it's ultimately going to be a great thing.
I think as fans, don't you want to feel like the team that is smartest and is run the best and figures out a way to have the best players should be the winning team, not the one that just spends the most money every year? And
correct.
I realized that one of the reasons the Padres have gotten good is because they've spent money. And, they've spent it, some of it smartly, some of it not so smartly.
Yep.
But you want to think that you're going to reward the teams more for how the decisions are made rather than where they are played and what media market they are in.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a timeout. We got Don't Do This is coming up next.
Man, a lot of places to go for Don't Do This.
Yeah, the youths of America right now. I think we've got some issues that we want to talk about. Some of it from Petco Park, some of it from other places that we want to follow up from a Don't Do This story from earlier. Plus, we're going to get some fun audio in Do This from one of our absolute favorites, Boog Shambi. Got a Do This moment during the Cubs game earlier this week. So we'll get to all of that coming up next. Don't go away. Ben and Woods continuing here on a Friday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
All right. First, though, let's talk about 7 Mile Casino. Opportunity this weekend if you want to head out and enjoy 7 Mile Casino's award-winning brunch Saturdays and Sundays at Sammy's at 7 Mile, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., voted best in the South County. And then when you go and enjoy that incredible brunch, Woods, you stick around and you play in San Diego's best card room.
Well, as you know, the Dodgers are in town. And the last time the Dodgers were here in October, Miguel Rojas was down enjoying the fruits of 7 Mile Casino. So you never know who you're going to see down there. I think he was playing some California-style blackjack. And listen, who could blame him? Great place to go play California-style blackjack. Great food, friendly dealers, smoke-free environment. Perfect for an athlete or yourself.
Other games, Texas Hold'em Poker. You've got Baccarat and Pai Gow Poker. Got tables all throughout. The restaurant's on the left there. And you don't have to drive deep into the East County. It's going to be really hot this weekend. Your car is sitting in some garage reaching 120 degrees inside. You have to look that forward to when you come back out. Now, 7 Mile Casino's right on the water there. San Diego Bay, Chula Vista, west of the 5 freeway. Check it out today. It's 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Got San Diego radio legend Darren Smith coming up at the bottom of the hour. We were talking about the Radio Hall of Fame. I'll nominate Darren for the Radio Hall of Fame.
Damn right.
100%.
Absolutely. Deserves to be there. He will join us at the bottom of the hour. First, though, it's time for Don't Do This. It is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up a trust or will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. And I will start in the world of college basketball. Seems a little early, but we're only a couple of months away from the start of practice and another season. Really excited, by the way, about this San Diego State season. I mean,
oh, yeah.
Really, really excited. They got players coming back that are good. I'm sorry, I know.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, my God. They've got one of the top 100 recruits in the country. Did you see the story? Just before I get to the Don't Do This, did you see the story about?
Look, here we go.
Come on.
No,
yes, what is it?
Elsie Harrington. He was the kid who was going to go to Harvard. His dad was the doctor who said, "Be smart enough to go to Harvard, but good enough to go to Duke." And he got into Harvard, but then his dad got brain cancer, and so he transferred back to temporarily to USC. But then he decided, no, San Diego State's the place. Is right for me and my dad and my family. His dad unfortunately passed away from the brain cancer, and but he's now back with the team and like dedicating. Like, I'm doing this for my dad, and I'm very excited to see what he can do. Saw that Taj DeGurville was named the MVP of that Swish Summer Pro-Am League.
You are way off track.
I'm really off
mean,
track.
Holy crap, dude! He was not going to stop.
That went from being excited, rightfully so, for the upcoming season to the San Diego Pro-Am.
It's a little early. I get it. But the Don't Do This story, this is kind of interesting.
How many points did DeGorville score in the Pro-Am?
He averaged like 20-something a game or something.
Cool.
Solid.
Fantastic.
This is a story that doesn't really have an explanation yet. But last year, one of the best players at the Cincinnati Bearcats, there was the son of former NFL running back Edgerrin James, and he was coming back as like the leading player of the team. But according to Coach Wes Miller, on a statement this week, Jizzle James has been dismissed from the team. It is not a current. Jizzle James has been dismissed from
Jizzle?
Jizzle James, yeah.
Jizzle James.
Yeah, Edgerrin James Jr., but they call him Jizzle. James has been dismissed from the team and is no longer part of the basketball program. Said he's been dealing with personal issues. He was really good. Started 35 games, averaged double figures, 3.5 assists and 3 rebounds, and was considered a key member of their team coming back next season. So no more Jizzle James in Cincinnati.
You just wanted to say Jizzle, didn't you?
I did not want to say anything. It's part of my job.
Well, now you've said it.
Jizzle.
I'm so excited to get home and see my sons foreskin and semen today. I cannot wait to get back, wrap my arms around them. Jizzle.
That's what they call him. I don't know why. Edgerrin James Jr. Jizzle.
You can be Bizzle Higgins. I like that. Thank you, Carlos. Bizzle.
Jizzle.
Bizzle.
Bizzle's in the hizzle.
I love it, dude. I love it. Well, this one was an interesting one. I did not know. Look, I don't know how people are going to react to this story if you haven't heard about it yet, but we all saw the kid run on the field the other day at Petco Park, and we saw him get tackled, and we saw the repercussions and all that. And we didn't really know, much about him, and I didn't think we would. I never thought we would know much about this kid. I assumed he jumped on the field. His parents took care of business. Well, then yesterday, going around making the rounds on social media, there was a video, and here it is. Paulie has the audio.
Hi, guys. My name is Frankie Swartz, and I was the Padres fan who ran on the field last night in our win over the San Francisco Giants. I want to support Carlsbad Kickboxing, my gym, and I just want to say, live your life, chase your dreams, take stupid bets. Thank you, Tatis, for winking at me. I saw you. I know you didn't want to get in trouble. Yeah, it was definitely worth it and fun.
All right. So listen, I'm not in the business of dragging a 12-year-old kid on the air. I'm not. I'm in the business of dragging a 7-year-old kid and a 4-year-old kid, my 2 kids. I don't want to tell people how to parent. I know it's very difficult and hard. But I couldn't believe when I saw this yesterday. And I said, what has happened? Like, what was this a bit for the gym? Do the parents own the gym? Because I can't for the life of me imagine throwing Bo over the rail with a Nancaro Realty Group flag to run around Petco Park for a little advertising for my wife's business. I can't wrap my head around.
In a Ben and Woods shirt.
In a Ben and Woods shirt. It is unbelievable, guys. And I think the thing and it's not his fault, man. It's the generation that he's growing up in. When he says, live your dreams, take stupid bets. And I'm going, no. Like, listen, again.
So I thought the kid, I didn't like it. But I did a lot of stupid stuff when I was a kid. Kids are going to do dumb things. I get it. This generation of kids, dumb things is doing it on TikTok or on Instagram.
Social media.
And the problem that I had with it, though, is I'm like, all right, I'm assuming an adult is filming this or an adult runs Carlsbad kickboxing gym or whatever. Like, however, there is an adult in charge, and that's what I had such a problem with that. I'm like, so you approved of this? Like, you're encouraging this? That's not okay.
Well, here's the problem. This is going to then be copycat. It already was this week. A woman at Angel Stadium with 1.7 million TikTok followers videoed herself. Then she ran on the field and videoed herself again, and then videoed herself again coming out of jail at 2:23 a.m. just for the viral clicks of it all. Where is it going to stop?
It's becoming a thing now. And
where is it going to stop?
She ran on the field too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Again, here's the thing.
You had 2 instances at Petco Park like 2 days ago. There was 2 people that ran onto the field.
Yeah, 2 people that did it. And so here's the thing, like it's the boy that cried wolf, right? Like, if players in the back of their minds, like, hey, security reaches out. Guys, there's a new TikTok trend, so watch your back. Ha ha, funny. And apparently Fernando winked at this kid. Ha ha ha, super funny. What happens when it's not? What happens when it's somebody that's unhinged? Like you have to take these seriously. I think everybody that is listening and everybody that knows, I thought you already knew this, don't jump on the field at a big league game. Just don't. It puts the players at risk, and you certainly put yourself at risk. And, wanting to go to jail is a concept that's foreign to me. I just can't get my head around it. But I feel bad. I mean, there's a part of me that knows how difficult it is to grow up. I can't imagine growing up in this era where, truly clout is really everything, man. So it's a bummer.
I will say this to the Generation Z or whatever it is now. Follow your dreams, but come up with some better dang dreams than you've got right now.
Yeah.
Because your dreams, at least these dreams, suck.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man.
All right, finally, how about some do this for a Friday?
DD mega do-do.
All right, this was from the Cubs matchup earlier this week when Colin Ray was on the mound. Former Padres pitcher Colin Ray pitching against the Milwaukee Brewers in the 5th inning on Wednesday. And they started, if you remember, Colin is from a little town in Iowa. And the Cubs broadcasters, Boog Shambi and Jim DeShays, were talking about the little town. I guess one of them or both of them had been there before. And there's this little restaurant called the Corner, like tap room. And if this is, they know, hey, you're all watching back there. And when Colin was, had a runner on first and one out, they said, John Shambi said, how about this? If he hits a ground ball to start a 6-4-3 double play, Jim, will you buy mozzarella sticks for everybody at the Corner tap room? So he agreed. Here's what then happened in the Cubs and Brewers game.
Will you buy mozzie sticks for everybody at the Corner tap room?
Absolutely.
We don't know if they have mozzarella sticks at the Corner tap room. The 1-1 outside. I'll go halvesies with you.
Okay.
1 Cubs. On the
Come on, baby!
Let's go!
Mozzarella sticks for everybody!
Corner tap room, eat up!
Flip it and fire it.
Mozzie sticks!
And they did. They somehow called them up and said, hey, treat everybody at the bar to some mozzarella sticks. They had them bring up some mozzie sticks for themselves for the rest of the broadcast and enjoyed them. Colin Ray got out of the jam with the double play. I get it. Mud does that a lot. Asking for the double play. It doesn't seem to happen very often when he asks for it, but when it does, it's pretty
very
cool.
True.
No, but if you go 1 for 10, all Mud's going to care about is the one.
That is, it's really fantastic. I'm a big fan of mozzie sticks, and I'm a big fan of double plays too, unless we hit into them. But big fan. So how does it work? You call down, you say, "Hey, mozzie sticks for everybody." Is that an order of mozzie sticks for everybody, or is that a mozzie stick for everyone?
I think it's.
What if there's 400 people
I
there?
think. Well, I mean, it was a day.
Game.
It was a day game, and it's a tiny bar in Iowa, so I'm guessing it wasn't too crowded. I think like every table.
Have you ever been to Iowa?
I have not.
Have you ever been to Iowa?
I know you
may
have.
not be much to do. That's a good bit. I like that a lot.
And that is don't and do this for a Friday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, when we come back, our friend D. Smith, Darren Smith, SDFC, getting ready for a potential playoff clincher tomorrow night at Snapdragon Stadium and get his thoughts on another big Padres-Dodgers weekend coming up at Petco Park, all next year on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, let's say you do something like jump on the field and run out. Maybe you hurt your knee, you wrench your knee, or you throw out your back or something. It doesn't even sound right to even promote QC Kinetics, because QC Kinetics is for guys like me and girls like you listening. You woke up this morning, your back hurts, your knee hurts. You're getting older, and it's harder to recover, and you think, if I just ride it out, maybe the pain will go away. My dad is that, right? Oh, no, I don't need to do anything. Go to QC Kinetics. Do it today. At least make the call, and they can fix you up, man. They did with me with both of my wrists. I had pain, tremendous pain in both. I was wearing tape and carpal tunnel bracelets and guards every night to bed. It was not a great lifestyle, and I went to QC Kinetics. Man, I couldn't be more thankful. I'm back playing baseball, back playing golf, doing everything that I want to do, playing the guitar, throwing my kids around. You know how it goes. It's pretty incredible. Their regenerative treatments work with your body to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Natural cellular therapies, no scalpels, no pills, just long-term relief with no dreaded recovery. You can bring your x-rays and MRIs in. They'll sit down with you, have a free, no-pressure chat and a thorough evaluation to make sure that it works for you. And again, the worst case scenario with something like that, you learn something new. The best case, you can get your life back, get back on the bike, get back in the ocean, whatever it is that you're missing. Grab the phone, call them today, locations in Hillcrest and Torrey Hills, 619-614-PAIN, 619-614-PAIN. Once again, 619-614-PAIN. It's QC Kinetics.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort with a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Our soccer education continues here on 97.3 The Fan, and looks like the SDFC squad heading to the postseason, Woods. They could clinch as soon as tomorrow night with a win or draw at Snack. I mean, is it like time to celebrate already? And I guess the goals are a lot higher.
Wait.
The goals are a lot higher than just making the playoffs at this point. Probably would have taken it at the beginning of the year. Expansion team in the playoffs? Yeah, absolutely. Now, sitting in first place, you're going, now, just making the playoffs is not good enough anymore. We got Darren Smith standing by.
I mean, seriously, I am so casual of a soccer fan. Like, are they popping champagne?
I have no idea.
Is there a locker room celebration?
And I have another question I really want to ask Darren that I'm interested about as my soccer knowledge starts to develop. And we'll get to that right after a check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danek.
This traffic report is driven by local and veteran-owned Manny Sedano Ford and Lincoln in La Mesa. Trouble on the coastline, northbound 5 past Cassidy Street, crashed the clearing stage, but they have reopened lanes both north and southbound 5 at Oceanside Boulevard. They had things shut down temporarily for a little police activity, but that's wrapped up, so things are looking much better for you there. Now, eastbound 78, right before Los Posas, reports of some garbage cans in middle lanes. Westbound 52, before Fanita, we have reports of a mattress in middle lanes. The Lincoln Corsair Premier, smooth as a country sunset for just $449 a month. Find yours at Sedano Ford and Lincoln in La Mesa. SedanoFord.com. For more details, visit Sedano Ford or SedanoLincoln.com. I'm Kelly Danek with Ben & Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And we're joined right now by SDFC broadcaster and San Diego radio icon Darren Smith on a Friday morning. Darren, good morning.
Good morning, Ben Woods, Paul. Nice to see you guys.
Hi,
nice to chat with you guys, and thank you for making me want mozzarella sticks for breakfast.
Mozzie sticks, yeah, absolutely.
Mozzie sticks.
So,
I'm just thinking about them like with the marinara sauce. Oh, so good.
Always so good.
God, yes.
So here's the question that I've actually been thinking about for a while, because the SDFC is playing the Portland Timbers tomorrow. They played the San Jose Earthquakes last week, but SDFC decided not to take on a nickname when they were created this last year. They're just SDFC, but sometimes nicknames start to happen organically. I don't know them all, but like in England, you got like the Toffees and the Red Devils and teams like that. Is there any like movement toward SDFC like getting a nickname? Are you hearing anything like what people are calling this team, or has it just not happened yet?
No, the Jizzles. No,
the Jizzles. I was just going to say Jizzles.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, for Shizzle.
Jizzle.
Yeah. No, not yet. I mean, some people go with the chrome and azul. They go with the colors, since they're I know like there's this weird debate about chrome. Is it a color? Is it not? But, it's been a little bit of that, but no, nothing organically is really not that I'm aware of. It's mostly just been, even from a broadcasting standpoint, it's been, well, do you call them San Diego? Do you call them San Diego FC? Do you go with SD? Like there's just these different ways. I don't know yet that we've really settled all that much into anything, but I haven't heard anything. I think those things have to happen kind of organically. And I'm not aware of them. If the supporter section out there has something that they're referring to the club as, then I'm all ears. I'd be more than willing to use it on the broadcast, but I think for now we're just going SDFC or the Chrome and Azul.
I get why like national broadcasters call the Padres the San Diego Padres every time, but when I'm talking with my friends or whatever, like fellow fans, it's always just the Padres or the Pods or whatever. It's never the San Diego Padres. So I always do get a little bit like caught up sometimes when it's like with San Diego FC or with SDFC. It just sounds a little bit different.
Formal. It sounds too formal.
Yeah,
San
too
Diego.
Too formal.
Yeah,
like we're
exactly.
on, like it's San Diego. We're speaking to San Diegans. We don't need to say San Diego side of the field, or but it is the name, so it's like literally right there in the name. So I think the best thing, what I've just gravitated towards is just saying SDFC all the time and just sticking with that. Like just, SDFC on the SDFC side, goal SDFC, all that sort of stuff. So that's it. I mean, until something better comes along, that's what we're going to ride with.
No, it makes sense, Darren. And Ben was asking, excuse me, the question before, obviously expectations, it's been crazy. I mean, it's been a crazy first season, inaugural season for this team. We all love Mikey Varas. We all love these players. What is the mentality now of these guys? Because expectations have changed from, hey, let's just get our feet wet and see what happens to, oh my God, we could be the first team to clinch a playoff spot.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're leaning into it a little bit. Haven't been around it a little bit earlier this week. I don't think that they turn from the conversation, right? Like, you can, there's all these ridiculous scenarios about how you can clinch a playoff spot. I'm not going to, get into all the permutations, even though it's probably my job, I guess. But, win or draw and win and tie, and you're in. And that's the simplicity of it, right? So everybody understands that win, even with a draw, you're going to go to the postseason. Also, if there's a win at Snapdragon Stadium or whenever the next win comes, it's going to be that 17th win that we talked about earlier this year, which is going to tie St. Louis City for the all-time expansion record for wins in an inaugural season, right? So, that's a really big deal. And you're 5 points away from the points record from 2018 with LAFC. I get the sense that the players are motivated by being on the journey, but, also coming here to win things. So, I think when you talk to them about records, they'll say things like, well, records, we can talk about that stuff down the road, especially the team records. They're things that we're going to enjoy. Right now, though, what we're trying to do is, just figure out a way to beat Portland. But we did come here to win. Like, we did come here to win trophies. We did come here to be in the conversation about the Supporter Shield, about winning MLS Cup, about winning Leagues Cup, about winning any of these things that come with it. So, I do think that they're not shy talking about what their ambitions are and what their goals are. But they also just, throttle back just a bit about getting too wrapped up into the moment of what clinching, that it's a moment, clinching a playoff spot, equaling the all-time wins record, which could happen tomorrow night. So, I think they understand that, but, they also say, we're just still trying to get better, and we've got another level. We've got another level that we're going to get to before the season's over. So, they're shooting the moon here, and it's a good thing to be around.
Talking to Darren Smith, new player acquired this week as well, a defender, 20-year-old kid from Blackburn Rovers of the EFL Championship, Leo Duru, I think is how he says it. I saw some of his introductory media session. He was pretty amazed by the weather here. Whoa, I just came from a place where it's always cloudy and gray. I'm going to have to get used to all this sun and warmth. But what does this kid add to the club here at this juncture in the season, Darren?
Depth immediately, which is a good thing because a little dinged up at that position on the back line at the fullback position, the outside defenders. So, actually, I laughed at that, too, because we bring guys in here who have played in places like Manchester and all the like. And I'm like, they're driving on the wrong side of the road. I'm like, how is this acclimation process going to work? You never see the sun and you got to drive on the other side of the street here. Good luck to you. But he's good. I mean, he's a good player. He's under 20. Potentially he's a player that's going to represent the U.S. men's national team at the under 20 World Cup in a month. Nice. He's played with some of these guys that also have represented at that level at the U.S. youth national team level. So there's 5 or 6 of those kind of guys that are rolling around here, and they're good. I mean, they get their opportunities because they've proven themselves in practice. And Mikey trusts younger players a lot more than a lot of other coaches, not just in soccer, but in any of these sports. But it's an interesting thing that's developing here is that there's 5 or 6 or 7 guys here on this roster who potentially could get selected for the under 20 World Cup. I'm sure you guys are all about that at the end of September and the beginning of October. And we could be without a couple of players when they go to Chile, but that's just what it is. So it feels like there's a little bit of a strategy here bringing in this kind of player, but good young player, comes from a good system. I saw some of their fans lamenting that they let him go, but it's also here not only on loan, but with an option to buy. So I would think we're probably going to see him pretty soon because you got to find out what you have in this guy before the season ends.
Woods just won't stop talking about the under 20 World Cup. It's just it's incessant, Woods. So I mean, move on to something else.
That sounds more in your vein, actually, than me, Benny. No, Darren, we were texting a little bit. We were texting a little bit last night about, we were laughing because you've done this for a long time, and you remember, the manager interview, and we got Shildt coming up at 9 this morning, and it's it was one of those things where it's like, hey, man, why don't you change your lineup? Since you just won 3 games in a row, always say, it's of course I want the team to win. It doesn't suit my question when they win 3 games in a row. It gives them an easy out to say, boy, you want me to change it? We just won 3 games in a row. Are you a moron? And, it's just, you went through this so many times, but they win more now than when you were in your prime doing this.
I know. I know.
It's
I know.
crazy.
I hate you guys. I keep saying this. I hate that the Ben and Wood show overlaps with like the most successful era of Padre
I know.
history.
Well, listen.
Where were you guys when I had to sit there and suffer through 100 losses trying to do a pregame show?
100%. But, my counter to that is I got into music radio in the worst time for music ever in alternative music. So this is the way I look at it. This is my my pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. But, yeah, man, I mean, look, Jesse tells us every week, guys, this is a good baseball team. And they are. But this is such a massive series. Now, your wife was gone last time, and you got to watch all these games. They were all miserable. What is your viewing schedule like this week? I know you got to work Saturday, but
yeah, we have to work, so it's going to be a little bit different. I mean, I had to work last Saturday too, but yeah, I mean, it's going to be Friday night here and Sunday here, and I mean, there is this deja vu, right? The Padres just ran through the Giants again. The Dodgers sort of struggled against an inferior opponent. And instead of having a 1-game lead, the home team now is looking up in the standings. So there is that deja vu. And, I mean, listen, I was wrong about the series last weekend, and I can admit it. But, I don't ever mind losing. I can deal with losing. What I can't deal with losing, aspect of losing is when you feel like you kind of gave it away, when you kind of kicked it away. And it felt a little bit like that with the base running and the defense and the starting pitching taking a while to get the engine turned over. So, I mean, again, they're 2-8 against the Dodgers. There's not much you can really say at this point, other than the division is still up for grabs. And, when the Royals and the team has played much better at Petco Park, 41-20 versus just, hovering around 500. So, I'm not given up on this. I still think that the division is something worth tracking down. And it's right there. I mean, it is literally right there in front of them. So yeah, this is going to be an amazing weekend no matter where you are. I mean, Saturday is going to be 70,000 fans between the two places. So, I'm still, my confidence hasn't been completely murdered by what it was that happened last weekend at Dodger Stadium. It took a hit for sure. I mean, they're 2-8. There's not much you can say, and they played awful. But I mean, it's right there in front of them. I believe that it's in them to figure out a way to go ahead and still, to still try to chase it down.
We were talking about it earlier this hour, and Darren, I consider you to be incredibly sports media savvy. I've heard enough of your interviews with people in the business that you carry on some pretty good conversations at a high level. What do you think about the report yesterday of ESPN taking over MLB TV and likely taking over Padres telecasts beginning next season? Still unofficial, but a fairly big agreement, it seems like.
Yeah. It made me think about what you guys were chatting with Eric Grupner about last week, when he certainly seemed confident about, the direction of the Padres television rights. And I don't know that that's exactly this, because it seems a little unclear what MLB.TV and that sale to ESPN means for the Padres directly, right? Unless I've missed something here, it feels like that's a little bit unclear, and that's going to have to be explained. But potentially it's a good thing, I guess. I mean, I understand that everybody, not everybody, but there's a hesitation to put more money in ESPN's pockets. But, does this turn out to be potentially a good thing for the Padres in terms of having a better television deal than what they have now, which has been described as one of the worst in all of Major League Baseball? Hopefully that would be the case. I'm a subscriber to ESPN Plus. I mean, I use it for a lot of soccer stuff and other things, and just because it feels like the responsible thing to do for somebody who's in sports media. I hope that turns out to be a good thing. I think it's unclear, exactly what it means, because like the Padres have been adopted by MLB TV, not necessarily because they chose that, but because they really didn't have any other option. So, what does it mean? I don't know. Do you guys have an answer for that? Because it seems like it potentially is good, but I don't know.
Yeah, the potential is great. I mean, that's what we've been talking about. They were tasked to get a TV deal, and if they get one, great. And like I said earlier, I mean, you can't use that as an excuse. So if you got to call ownership to the carpet to spend money, they can't say, well, we don't have a TV deal. And not that they have spent money, but it's just one, I think for fans, we're going to be the ones paying a little bit extra potentially. But at the end of the day, you want to be a player. You want to be a player and have a good team on the field.
I think Grupner said last week they're maximizing the revenue available to them right now, which is great. I think an ESPN partnership raises the ceiling on what that maximum revenue looks like, which ultimately would be a good thing for the San Diego Padres. But again, the devil is always in the details. And you made such a good point. This is not a marriage of choice. It's a marriage of necessity between Padres.tv, MLB TV, and the Padres. If they can have more say in this, like a little bit of a reset, probably a good thing going forward. Darren, good luck to SDFC. Have a good broadcast tomorrow, and we will chat with you again next Friday.
Thank you, fellas. Have a good one.
There he is, Darren Smith. Of course, we're just an hour away from the manager's report with Mike Shildt coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. Stay tuned for that. As always, refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Before that, though, we will have some Take on Woods. We will talk some more Padres baseball. Take a look at the standings. Improving again for your San Diego Padres. They are now over 98%, according to Fangraphs, to make the playoffs. That is coming up. Hour number 3, Ben and Woods ahead on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we're halfway home on a Friday. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Just a couple hours left of what has been a pretty long and arduous week, I would say, for the Ben and Woods program. We really appreciate you sticking with us, while I'm on remote, and Ben's had to leave a couple of times. Paulie the Rock just sitting there, just while his two co-hosts just kind of swirl around. Thank you for all your hard work, Paulie, and dedication, certainly.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's Paulie. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. And, the psychology of a fan is certainly an interesting topic. And I think back to what maybe we would have done 5 years ago as a program, right? We are, one game behind the LA Dodgers. They do hold the tiebreaker. So roughly, Ben, it's 2 games, yeah?
1.5, yeah.
1.5. And I'm thinking about 5 years ago, Ben and Woods. Today, who knows? I would have come in maybe painted head to toe. I have no idea. It would have been maybe a little bit more celebratory, make a big deal about it, beat our chests a little bit. And I feel like we're older and wiser, certainly. You, in this job, you don't want things to blow up in your face, right? After you make some bold proclamation about what's going to happen.
We've seen some things.
We've seen some stuff, Paulie. That's it. We have seen some stuff. And I have really adopted the mental state of not expect the worst anymore. Prepare for the worst, right? Prepare for it. Don't make any big moves. Don't get real loud and aggressive. I like to have fun with my Dodger friends on Twitter, but I'm not. You don't see me in here predicting a sweep or anything like that. That's the kind of stuff that blows up in your face and leaves you with egg on your face on a Monday morning. And, honestly, I keep reminding myself, Ben, and tell me if this is loser mentality or not. I keep reminding myself, there is no way I thought we would be this close this late. I never would have said we'd be this close to the division this late in the season.
If you had told me back in April that the Padres would be a game behind the Dodgers, I get it. But also, if you had told me that the Padres would be 2-8 against the Dodgers at this point, and still a game, behind them, I'd go, man, that's a giant missed opportunity. If you could just have played 500 ball against the Dodgers, you'd have a pretty comfortable lead and a chance to essentially put them away, almost this series by, winning or sweeping and really knock them out of the division race entirely. But unfortunately, the Padres have played some of their worst baseball against the Dodgers this year. Not that they couldn't have won many of those games. They could. I think 4 of them are 1-run losses. 2 of them are 2-run losses. I mean, most of them were close other than last Saturday. Padres had opportunities in almost every single one of those games, and they found a way to lose them, whether it was not necessarily through mistakes. And I know you say the base running was bad. Getting thrown out, stealing is not necessarily bad base running.
3 times in an inning is pretty bad.
It's certainly unusual for that to happen. No one stopped paying attention, and that's why I consider that to be bad base running. Like, what were you doing there? What were you thinking? They were thinking, I'm going to steal the base. I've got a read on him. I'm going. They were just wrong. That does happen in baseball, but not hitting with runners in scoring position, not throwing a good pitch when you know the damage that some of those hitters can do, not taking care of the bottom of the lineup. The 7, 8, 9 hitters, when you had handled the first through fourth hitters for the Dodgers pretty well most of the year, you think that's a huge advantage, but then you let the guys at the bottom like Michael Conforto do damage against you. Those are all the reasons that have contributed to the Padres going 2-8 against the Dodgers so far this year.
Yeah, I don't know that it's a loser mentality at all to say I'm pretty impressed and pretty grateful that this team is here in this position this weekend, because as I scrolled last night laying in bed through my bookmarks, I was looking at some of them and I saw quite a few Dodger fans that were making those bold proclamations of it's not going to matter. We're going to be 14 games up in the division by the time that last series happens. And I think at the time, I probably would have agreed with them. At the beginning of the season, I certainly did. I thought this team would run away. This team being the Dodgers would absolutely run away. So while, yes, there's a glass half empty of holy cow, look at all these missed opportunities, the glass half full way to look at it is, oh my God, we're still, essentially a game and a half out with 3 games head to head. And it's a pretty good spot to be in. Am I a moron or a softie for thinking that that's a pretty good spot to be in for the San Diego Padres?
No, you're not at all, because none of what happened already matters, other than the fact that the Dodgers have the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Erase it all. It literally doesn't matter going forward. You're playing a brand new season really every single day, and now you just have to beat them by 2 games the rest of the way, and you have a chance to control your own destiny. If you win the series, you'll be tied. If you sweep the series, you'll be 2 up. If you lose the series, you'll be 2 down. And if you get swept, you'll be 4 down without the tiebreaker, and it'll pretty much be over for the San Diego Padres' hopes of winning the division this year. Now, in some ways, last week felt like almost a better opportunity for the Padres. The Dodgers bullpen was more beat up. They are expected to activate Tanner Scott off the injured list today. Kirby Yates is expected to be activated tomorrow. So the Dodgers are getting healthier. Their starting pitching is obviously already come back and been
Blake
pitching.
Snell, Tanner Scott, Kirby Yates. Who else?
Yep.
So who else?
Some familiar names, to be sure. But the Padres have the advantage of playing home, and the home field advantage is absolutely real. The Padres are 41-20, something like that, at Petco Park this season. The Dodgers are a 500 team on the road. Padres are below 500 on the road. Dodgers are very good at home. So the Dodgers had that home field advantage. The Padres now need to take care of their home field advantage. You're winning 2 out of every 3 games at home. The Dodgers are losing at least half their games on the road. That has to mean something this weekend, that the Padres at least should be slight favorites to win this series. I don't think the odds makers would agree, but simply the home field, road field, you just say, it doesn't matter who the teams are. Dodgers are a mediocre team on the road, just like most teams are, just like the Padres are. And the Padres are a really, really good team at home. So you've got a really good team that wins 67% of their games against a mediocre team that only wins 50% of their games. If you're only talking about home versus road, which is what the Padres have going for them this weekend.
Well, and, I don't want to say that's all the Padres have going for them this weekend, because it's not, but the starting pitching is heavily in favor of the LA Dodgers with who they're running out there versus who we're running out there. And again, look, this is the thing. And I'm really going to try to stay off Twitter this weekend. I really need to, because while these games are massively important, right? You could take the division lead if you sweep, right? They're huge. You do have the Seattle Mariners after that, right? You do have other games that you do need to plan for and prepare for. Do you just go out and empty the tank? If Nestor Cortez, lets the first 2 guys on in the game, you're like, what? We're going to go chase this thing. We're going to use our best arm. I doubt it very much. I don't think this can be managed like playoffs. But my question to you is, if not these games, then which games should you manage like playoffs? You could take a division lead this weekend.
These games are doubly important. They are doubly important, and you have to treat them as such. I would imagine that Mike Shilt's entire bullpen is probably available tonight. Maybe Jeremiah Estrada is the last one you want to use because he threw 24 pitches yesterday, but Adrian Morejon, who threw 14, Mason Miller, who only threw 5 pitches, and Robert Suarez, who threw 13, plus Jason Adam, who didn't pitch. Those 4 guys should definitely be fully available for the game tonight. So if you do need to go to one of them early, and we saw Mike Shildt go to Jason Adam, it was in the 4th or 5th inning in one of the games last weekend, I'd imagine you will see him aggressively try to win these games, as he should be, because they are doubly important. You can not only win, but you can hand your rival the loss. You can absolutely guarantee you gain a game in the standings. You can't say that any other day because it's not in your control when the Dodgers are playing the Rockies or the Diamondbacks or anyone else. They could win all of those games, but they can't win if you win this weekend. This is just why these games are, head to head, are so much more important.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. If this is your brand of fun, It's going to be very, very fun this week.
One more thing that I think is in the Padres' favor this week that wasn't in their favor last week. Last week, they had a fairly ice-cold Manny Machado going into the series. This week, they have a fairly red-hot Manny Machado going into the series. He flipped it about 3 or 4 days ago. Not sure what changed. Yu Darvish gave him some hitting advice or something. And since then, he's looked pretty Manny and locked in at the plate. And that is
This is Manny Machado.
That's a different.
I wasn't gonna say it.
No, you weren't going to say it.
No, because traditionally against the Dodgers, as my pal Christian likes to remind me all the time, the numbers are not as great as they are against other teams. And you know, I kind of understand it. I do. You know, there's a lot that you want to prove, and there's a lot that's personal. Certainly. I mean, who's had more personal attacks than Manny Machado, from the violent manager of the Dodgers making up an article, a hit piece written about him? Of course it means a little bit more to him. So of course he's probably trying to do too much. But
I would argue that certainly in the early years of Manny against the Dodgers, if you're the Dodgers, you don't let Manny Machado hurt you, because the Padres didn't have as many weapons. You can't really approach this Padres lineup and say, as long as Manny doesn't hurt us, we're fine. You can't treat Manny really any different than Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Laureano, Fernando Tatis Jr. You know, there's just there's dangerous hitters throughout the Padres lineup, which I think gives Manny quite a bit more cover than he used to have when he was facing the Dodgers. And they were just going to make sure they weren't going to let Manny beat him. I mean, they knew what he was capable of.
I'd like to see it, man. That's for me kind of a key to this weekend. You know, if he stays hot, you know, as you coined the phrase, as Manny goes, so do the San Diego Padres.
I mean, it was totally on display this week, right?
Totally.
Money for
My
that.
royalties, yeah.
Yep.
3 cents every time someone says, as Manny Machado goes, so go the San Diego Padres.
That's right. That's right. They've got Snell going tonight. Who tomorrow?
Glasnow and Yamamoto. So
I mean, it's such a juggernaut. It's such a buzzsaw to go through, and this is what you'll be. Yeah, it's October. It might as well be October, man.
Snell
Honestly,
versus Darvish, Glasnow, Nestor,
Cortez,
and then Pivetta and Yamamoto.
Yeah.
Strap in.
Mama,
Here we go.
strap in. This is going to be. This is beautiful, beautiful baseball, meaningful baseball. Late August with a chance to get a division. This is the dream. This is what we all hoped for, and now it's here. And then, you know, I want to be watching from around the corner, like one eye around the corner. It's going to be some nerve-wracking stuff. I'm excited though.
If I have one request to the Padres starting pitching staff this weekend, it's don't walk the farm. I can't.
Oh my
I
God,
can't
yes.
watch 6 walks again. Hey, if Shohei hits a home run off of you, so be it. It's probably going to happen at some point. I don't think he's hit one off the Padres this year, which is kind of crazy. It's not the end of the world. Don't knock on wood, because I think it's not the end of the world if it happens. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Don't walk him 3 times. Don't walk Mookie Betts twice. Don't walk Freddie Freeman twice. You can't.
That was me, Dad.
You can't
I was
give.
knocking on wood. He went to the door.
You can't give them those opportunities. You're gonna have to challenge these guys, and they are gonna beat you every once in a while because they're good.
Yep.
They're really good. They're really good players. But if you're just pitching around all of them, the Dodgers will make you pay for it. They have shown time and time again they will make you pay for it if you put free runners on base. So just challenge those guys and know that once in a while they're going to beat you. But 2 solo home runs are a lot better than putting 3 walks on and giving up a 4 or 5 run inning because you did it that way.
If you are a voodoo practitioner, this is a good weekend. I'll just leave that out there. Okay. I believe.
All right, we can talk a little bit more about the series coming up here in our final hour. Of course, we'll chat
real
with
quick. Hang on, that reminded me actually. Yesterday, you guys talked about the prayer candles that you were given at Moneyline at our watch party last weekend, and you mentioned it on the air. And then, like an hour later, we got a voicemail to the radio station. The guy said, "Hey, I was listening to the show. I just have a message for the guys. Please, please, please." As the lights turned off in our studio here, please use the candles. You actually have to light them and use them. Otherwise, it's the whole thing is not going to work. So he was very passionate.
I will light them up
about
tonight. We got them from Mark Carpenter, by the way, and you can get them yourself. These candles, they're really, really well done. I tweeted it. It's QUEK, like kpadresshop.etsy.com. If you want to get your own, and I got mine. The players that he sent me, who was on there? It was Joe Musgrove.
There was a Tatis,
Manny,
I think, for sure.
There was Tatis. There was Manny. There was Joe Musgrove, and there was one more too. But I'll fire him up tonight as soon as I get home.
All right, we will come back and play a little Take on Woods if you want to be our final contestant of the week to try to qualify for the getaway to Resorts World Las Vegas, the $175 food and beverage credit, and the day passes to the day club. 833-288-0973. It's kind of confusing because we got the 858 area code here. 833-288-0973.
Or it's Friday and you're about to go play golf.
And that's probably true as well.
Yeah, dude.
Call in.
Holy
You
cow.
can take on Woods in our musical trivia challenge coming up in our next segment. Call in now. Ben Woods will be right back on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, I want to talk about Prize Picks, my daily fantasy spot for the last year. And I've actually won real money. I know people want to know, is it possible? It is absolutely possible. I have cashed in multiple times with Prize Picks. Right now, you can cash in this baseball season with Prize Picks, the official daily fantasy sports partner of the San Diego Padres. Put your favorite players in your lineups. You're just picking against stat projections. So you're putting between 2 and 6 players in your lineup. The more you put in your lineup, the more you can win. Or if you like to make sure you kind of have a better shot of winning, you can go with the flex play, which you don't need to actually be right on every single player to win. If you get 4 out of 5 right, you can still be profitable that way. It's up to you. You can run your own game at Prize Picks. The one thing you definitely need to do is when you download the Prize Picks app, use the code KWFN to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That's a ton of free play right there. Code KWFN to get $50 in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. And of course, we got the start of college football season this weekend, the final preseason games in pro football, and then the season is underway. Got special squares, including one for the college football game in Ireland this weekend. Avery Johnson, quarterback, 1/2 yard passing. Just pick the over, put it in a lineup. It's like a free spot on the bingo board. It's Prize Picks. Run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
So I mentioned to you guys, I went to a dinner with my friend Scott, his brother, and his friend from out of town. That's who I'm playing golf with later today, last night. And Scott's brother, John, would be a very good opponent for you in Take on Woods. He's got a lot of music knowledge, a really sharp memory. So I pulled out some old categories to see how he could do. I couldn't play the 2-second song for him, but
nice.
I read
At
through
dinner?
some of them at dinner. And quizzed
You really
him.
love hosting trivia games.
And I'll tell you what,
He really does.
I do, and they were impressed by my game show hosting skills. But I will say, John did something that was very impressive. I give him the 4 questions, and then he would get. I didn't give him the category like you, and then he would guess which song I had picked as the 2-second song based on the other 4 questions, and he got it right like 3 or 4 times. We did like 5 of them, and he was pretty solid. So I may have to set up a special one-off head-to-head matchup between you and my buddy's friend John, who is also very good at this game. The question is,
I welcome it.
The question is our contestant today going to be good enough to take you down or at least tie you and qualify for the trip to Las Vegas? Let's find out right now. Take on Woods brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you, and we got Sal, I believe, is our contestant. Good morning, Sal.
Good morning, guys.
All right, this is your opportunity. If you can beat or tie Woods, you will qualify for the 2-night stay at Resorts World Las Vegas, the 2 VIP expedited admission passes to the AU Day Club, and a $175 food and beverage credit. Check out their special summer rates right now at rwlasvegas.com. All right, here are your categories that you get to choose from. We've got new bands. Those are bands that begin with the word new, not necessarily new bands. Always and Forever, 5 song titles, including the word always. And our new category, Why Are You Crying? 5 song titles and band names that include the word tears. So new bands, Always and Forever, or Why Are You Crying? Sal, what would you like to play?
Always and forever.
Always and forever. Okay, today's category, 5 song titles, and they all include the word always. You'll have 60 seconds to answer as many as you can. Feel free to pass if you don't know one. We'll come back if there's time left on the clock. First question is the 2-second song. Paulie's going to play you a little bit of music. You need to give me the song title and the artist to score that point. You go first, Woods goes second, and we'll compare scores at the end. Sal, you good?
Let's do it. Where Manny goes, so goes the team.
I love that. That's 3 cents off your tab. I'll just bill you later. All right, 60 seconds on the clock. The category again is always and forever.
Come on, Sal.
Sal, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Woods.
I think it's fat.
Originally written and recorded by Dolly Parton, which song reached new heights with Whitney Houston's 1992 version for the movie The Bodyguard?
I'll always love you.
Correct. She can kill with a smile, she can wound with her eyes is the first line of which 1977 love song by Billy Joel?
She takes care of herself, Billy Joel, yeah.
That's not the title, though. Elvis Presley, Willie Nelson, and the Pet Shop Boys all recorded successful versions of which song originally written in 1972?
Always. Fat.
Welsh singer Donna Lewis is best known for which 1996 song that reached number 2 on the U.S. charts behind only Los Del Rio's Macarena?
Sorry.
Let's go back to the 2-second song. Well, we ran out of time for the 2-second song, which
that
was
a tough category.
It was tough. Always Something There to Remind Me by Naked Eyes. You did get I Will Always Love You, but you didn't get She's Always a Woman by Billy Joel. Always on My Mind, Willie Nelson and Pet Shop Boys. And then I Love You Always Forever, which you'd know if you heard it, is the Donna Lewis song. So let's bring Woods back in, text him up, and get him to put his headset back on.
He is coming back here.
I'm here.
Actually, this is a category I played with John last night. He got 4.
okay.
He got 4 of them out of the 5 on this one. I won't tell you what Sal locked in, but you'll take on Sal here. 60 seconds on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Sal.
Always Something There to Remind Me. I'll come back to the
originally written and recorded by Dolly Parton, which song reached new heights with Whitney Houston's 1992.
I Will Always Love You.
Correct. She can kill with a smile. She can wound with her eyes is the first line.
Always a Woman.
Correct. Elvis Presley, Willie Nelson, and the Pet Shop Boys all recorded successful.
Always on My Mind.
Correct. Welsh singer Donna Lewis is best known for which 1996 song that reached number 2 on the U.S. charts behind only Los Del Rio's Macarena?
I'll come back to it.
All right, go back to the 2-second song. You need the band.
Always Something There to Remind Me by, God bless, is going to drive me crazy. Always something there to remind me.
Kind of a one-hit
I
wonder,
almost just said the F word. I was this close. I don't know.
How about Welsh singer Donna Lewis? No, time's up, but you did get the 3-1 win in the category Always and Forever. That was Naked Eyes, Woods.
Naked Eyes!
And then Donna Lewis is that song from the 90s. I love you always, forever.
Always, forever. I love that song. I didn't know that was Donna Lewis.
That was her name. Yeah, Welsh singer, one-hit wonder, Donna Lewis. I love you always, forever.
I do love that song. And I feel very soft that I do, but I think it's just adorable. I really, really do.
It's not a bad song at all.
It's a really, really sweet, sweet song. And then the Naked Eyes song just kicks ass.
Oh, that's one of my favorites all time. Love that song.
Just fantastic.
Bit of a one-hit wonder, I think, as well, Naked Eyes. I couldn't tell you any other songs that they did, but that one I always like. Can you name another Naked Eyes song?
No, I'm sure John could.
Yeah, he probably could. He would have beaten you. He got all except Donna Lewis, and then he named the song without even knowing what it was, just by the word always and what I would pick. So I was impressed.
Really, really good.
All right, Sal,
really,
thank you for
really
trying. Did not qualify for the trip to Las Vegas. We'll have another week chance to qualify some more Tier 1s for the getaway to Las Vegas. When we come back, though, Padres upping their chances to make the playoffs with another victory yesterday. We'll take a look around Major League Baseball scores, news, and notes, all coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
But quickly, Tier 1s, if you're trapped in your high-rate mortgage, if you're watching money just vanish every month, you could stop right now. At Loan Pronto, they're delivering the lowest mortgage rates in 3 years with their rate reduction home loan program. It's streamlined, low cost. It's a great way to slash your house payments by hundreds of dollars a month. You could lock in a fixed rate today as low as 4.99% APR. Close in as little as 2 weeks. No appraisal needed in most cases. And here's the kicker. How about skipping your next 2 house payments entirely? Don't wait. These rates will not last forever. Call Loan Pronto now for your free, no obligation quote. Loan Pronto is pretty incredible. Lower payments, more money in your pocket, and a fresh start with a better mortgage. Call 619-207-4336 or visit loanpronto.com to lock in your new low rate and skip those next 2 payments. Don't let high rates hold you back. Call 619-207-4336 or go to loanpronto.com right now. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Padres did get a little bit of help again yesterday around Major League Baseball, not from the Colorado Rockies. Rockies did their part. Taking two out of four from the Dodgers. Thank you very much. Sign up for that. Yesterday, Freddie Freeman had a 2-run homer in the first inning. Dodgers got enough offense and a 9-5 win to earn the series split. But again, thank you, Colorado Rockies, for taking 2 of those games. But elsewhere, it was a limited schedule yesterday. The Brewers beat the Cubs 4-1, which means the Padres pull within 1 game of the Chicago Cubs for the top wild card spot again. The Brewers, meanwhile, even though they lost that series and lost the season series, they're 7 games up. So it's going to take quite a bit for the Cubs to actually catch them in the NL Central. Brewers seem like they're trending woods toward being the number 1 overall seed in the National League, and not much that the Phillies, Padres, Dodgers can do to stop that from happening unless they really collapse, and they don't look like they're about to collapse.
As we all speculated.
No, just as we all speculated, the Brewers would run away with it.
Let's see. Ben actually had them finishing 2nd in the Central. Woods and I both thought they're going to finish 3rd. Crushed it.
You know, nobody knows anything at the end of the day.
What a stupid sport.
Nobody knows anything.
And then I've seen some Mets fans feeling like their season is going down the tubes here. They lost to the Washington Nationals 9-3, and now are just, I believe, a half game up on the Cincinnati Reds for the final wild card playoff spot. Padres have a 4.5 game lead over the Mets and a 5 game lead over the Cincinnati Reds, which is why the Padres are now over 98% likely to make the playoffs, according to Fangraphs, because both of those teams, the Mets and the Reds, would have to catch the Padres for the Padres to miss the playoffs at this point. And the Mets have been going, honestly, the wrong direction for the last couple of weeks. It's been a rough go, and yesterday was another rough one for the New York squad.
What? I mean, they'll make the playoffs, yeah?
The Mets?
Yeah.
I don't know. They're only half game ahead of the Reds. I mean, the Reds are trending in a much better direction. They could actually completely missed. They were, remember, the Mets were like the best team for a chunk of the season earlier in the year.
They were.
And now, that they still have, according to Fangraphs, it's like 80% odds.
Yeah,
but
I was just going to say, so if you go by the Fangraphs odds, their analytical projections, they've pretty much now for the last few weeks have had the 6 NL playoff teams pretty much locked up, with the Phillies 99.8, the Brewers 100%, the Cubs 98.7% chance of making the playoffs, and then the Dodgers are 99.7, the Padres are 98.5. So the Mets, who were like in the high 80% or something, a week or two ago, they're sitting at a 78.4% chance to make the playoffs, with the Reds at 19%.
But remember, they could, if they lost tonight and they're playing at Atlanta. And by the way, the Braves have, I think, won 8 of 10. They're actually kind of hot right now. And the Reds win in Arizona. The Mets will be out of the last playoff spot. The Reds will hold the last wild card. So I don't know. That seems like 78% is fairly optimistic. That's based on obviously projections and the players that they have.
Well, and when it gets to a situation like this where like 5 teams are so clearly ahead, like every win or loss is going to change it by like 5 or 6 percentage points.
Yeah,
from here on
it's
out
going to swing
Mets.
a lot more for sure. So keeping an eye on that. Elsewhere in baseball yesterday, the Red Sox and Yankees are playing a pretty big series. Red Sox took game 1 of 4, 6-3, and that means Boston now just a half a game behind the Yankees for the top AL wildcard spot. Both teams are still trailing the Toronto Blue Jays in the American League East.
Crazy, man. Crazy. That there's a lot of, there's still some teams that are like 2 games, like the Royals are 2 games out of the wild card. The Guardians are 3 games. Yeah, it could get pretty. We all thought, the NL West was going to be the race to watch. And hey, man, you got 2 teams in it fighting for it this weekend, but everybody else is out. They're done, and it will not come down to the wire. And with some of those other teams fighting for a playoff spot, but again, everybody on the planet said, "Oh man, that race is going to go down between the Padres, the Giants, and the Diamondbacks to the last week of the season." It's not the case. It's a 2-team race right now, and some of the other divisions look insanely fun to watch. I'm going to follow those with a little more fun attitude than we're following this one.
You mentioned that the Seattle Mariners are coming up on the Padres' schedule next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in Seattle. That was a team that everyone circled at the trade deadline after they picked up Naylor and then Eugenio Suarez as a team to really watch. And then they started playing well and, chasing down the Astros for first place. And they have just fallen apart lately. They've lost
5 straight.
7 of 8, 5 in a row. They've got the A's who've been playing well this weekend. And then the Padres. And as you mentioned, Woods, they're now only 2 games up on the Royals, who are hot on their heels. They've made up 5 or 6 games in the last week on the Seattle Mariners. So now the Mariners playoff spot is not even guaranteed after they finally went, pretty much all in at the trade deadline, and it has not worked out exactly like they thought it would. They had like 8 in a row they had won, and then they just turned right around on a dime and lost 7 of 8.
I saw our boy Softy Mahler from up in Seattle like 2 weeks ago. He was like, "So which parade route should we take?" It was like, I was like, "Softy, relax, bro. You've been doing this a long time. There's a lot of season left, buddy." He was like, "This will be the best, most expensive ticket in the history of Seattle sports when they make the World Series." I was like, "Dude, you know better. You're not a rookie here. He knew better." But man, it's gonna be fun to watch the last month.
So the big series this weekend, other than Padres Dodgers, which of course has become the premier series in Major League Baseball. It's strange to say when the Yankees are playing the Red Sox, but I think there will be more attention on Padres Dodgers than even Yankees Red Sox this weekend. But the other ones that are of interest, I mentioned the Reds are in Arizona. The Mets are taking on the Atlanta Braves. The Milwaukee Brewers host the San Francisco Giants. And the Cubs are here in Southern California to take on the Los Angeles Angels. The Phillies, meanwhile, host the Washington Nationals. Phillies, interesting. We didn't really talk a lot about the Zach Wheeler surgery. It certainly sounds like he could miss the rest of the year. They aren't putting a timeline on his recovery, the blood clot that he had, but that's a huge blow.
That's so scary, man.
The Phillies keep playing well and putting some more ground between themselves and the Padres Dodgers for the second seed. trying to earn that first-round bye. Can they hold on without Zach Wheeler is the question. They did get Aaron Nola back this week. Didn't pitch great in his first start, but I'm sure that they expect that he will look like Aaron Nola pretty soon. So you will see if the Phillies can hold on to their ranking as the second seed right now in the National League.
Ben, their offense is it's scorching hot right now. Trey Turner was 10 for 16. Kyle Schwarber drove in 7 runs. He homered in his 15th consecutive series. He's got 45 bombs. JT Realmuto's playing out of his head right now. I mean, you're bummed to lose Zach Wheeler, but that's a perfect example of the offense going, all right, boys, time to get it together. 10 for 16 in a series is bananas from Trey Turner. So everyone's talking Dodgers and Padres. The Phillies, could this finally be that year that gets them over the hump? It's going to be a lot harder without Wheeler, but so far so good.
All right, we're going to check traffic. When we come back, right on the other side, not sure that I've ever related more with Fernando Tatis Jr. And there's very little that I feel like I can usually relate with him because he's really kind of from another.
So much in common.
He's from another planet compared to the three of us and what he is able to do. But this moment was very human, and we will share that coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
This game day traffic report is brought to you by Crystal Geyser, Alpine Spring Water. Not too bad of a ride on our freeways, guys. Just watch out for stalled vehicle reported on the Rosecrans off-ramp southbound 5. What makes Crystal Geyser Alpine Spring Water different? They always bottle their Alpine Spring Water less than 1.5 miles from the spring source. And all of their bottles are made with 50% recycled plastic from their own recycling plants. Crystal Geyser, bottled at the spring source. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So after the game yesterday, obviously the questioning of Mike Shildt quickly turned toward the upcoming series against the LA Dodgers. And Mike Shildt very enthusiastically stated something to the effect, Woods, of, we're ready to play him tonight. Let's bring him on. We're ready to go. We do it tonight if we could. Is that correct? Something like that? I didn't hear the exact quote.
Something to that effect.
So into the Padres clubhouse goes the assembled reporters, the media. And to Fernando Tatis Jr.'s locker was our old colleague at our old station, Marty Caswell, who asked him about those comments of Mike Shildt being ready to play the Dodgers tonight if they had the opportunity. And again, I don't think we've ever seen a more human moment than this one from Fernando Tatis Jr.
Mike Shildt said he was ready to go ahead and play the Dodgers right now, this afternoon. How amped are you for this upcoming series?
Well, I need to go to sleep first before I've been dragging a little bit. We're just ready.
Is that the difference between manager and player? Is that the manager's ready to go now?
Yeah. I want to see you running like that too. I'm just saying the same stuff. But I know everybody knows his attitude, and he's the front line. So, it's always good to have a guy like that leading the line.
Tell him to settle down just a little bit.
Yeah.
I loved it, dude. Great job by Marty getting that out of him. I was in tears. I literally saw it, and he just kind of gives this look, and he's like, come on, and we got the skipper coming on in 10 minutes, and I wonder if he's heard that, and it made me laugh so hard.
Ready?
Is that the difference between manager and player? Is that the manager's ready to go now?
Yeah.
What it reminds me of. Hey, is it cool if you guys do a Saturday show? Or, hey, do you mind doing? And it's just like, bro, I am gassed. I'm gassed.
9 o'clock at night. Hey, any chance of a post-game show? You can just do it from home. I mean,
can you do a reaction video? It's not that big a deal. And it's just, it's so, I've said it to Adam 1,000 times. And I thought it was, you want to talk about human being, like a human moment. He's like, bro, we just, I booted a ball out there. The next one checked up on me. We had to fight and claw, and then we We won the game, and we just won 3 straight, and now we got the Dodgers coming in, and this dude's ready to take the field today. Give me a break. Give me a break a little bit.
As much as
hysterical.
As much as the F word was funny, just like, hey, hey, Tatis Jr. said he'd be ready to go tonight. And he's like, can I go home and nap first? Just rest for a minute.
Can I sleep? I'm gonna need to sleep
first.
I just need a little bit of sleep before I go out and take on, Blake Snell tomorrow, and then Tyler Glasnow the next day, and then Yamamoto the day after that. The Dodgers coming in town. Your boy needs a little bit of a breather. And I think I laughed so hard. Somebody said, I saw in the chat earlier, they're like, man, that depressed me. And I go, I really felt the opposite.
I think
really
this is why I related. And you brought up Adam Klug, because Adam is here many hours of the day. He works very hard, as Mike Shildt does. We've said many times, Mike Shildt is there early in the day for a night game and is constantly, working and meeting. But Fernando Tatis is the one who's actually out there sprinting in a vast right field to make the plays and diving around, and his body. And just here at the station, we're the one who was on the air 4 or 5 hours in the morning. And, you get tired and you need to recharge the batteries after going through all that. And I think that's exactly what Fernando is saying. Respect your hard work, boss, but I need a minute here before we can go back out on the field and take on the Dodgers.
Man, it was so good. I thought it was so candid and hysterical. It just that casual F-bomb was just F. We've all been there. Really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff from Marty and Nando. I thought it was great.
All right, is everybody ready? It is Friar Friday, and when we come back, the skipper of the San Diego Padres, Mike Shildt, will join the program as they get ready for round 2 against the Los Angeles Dodgers beginning tonight at Petco Park. Don't go away. Ben, Woodsy, Paul with you on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, not going to waste another second because it is time right now at 9 a.m. on a Friday for the Manager's Report with Mike Shildt, refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. And we welcome back to the Ben & Woods program on 97.3 The Fan, the manager of the San Diego Padres, Mike Shildt. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
We're pretty good.
Doing well.
Yeah, I wanted to start
doing great.
What you said after the game yesterday about how that was actually one of your favorite games of the year. And specifically, I want to talk about resiliency because I went back and looked, and I think that's the 6th time this season that your team has lost the first game of the series and then come back to win the series in the end. What is it that you see? You've been a manager for a while. You've been in baseball for pretty much your whole life. What is it that makes a team resilient and able to bounce back when things aren't going well?
I don't know if it's as much resiliency as it can be the word I'd use. It's kind of hard to maybe articulate exactly the right word, but it's really about just the consistency of competition and showing up every day to compete to win. And if you do that, I mean, let's face it, you're going to lose some games, right? I mean, there's 162 of them, so you're going to lose the first game of the series. Ball didn't bounce your way for whatever reason. But if you're consistent with your preparation, dedication, competitiveness, then you give yourself the best chance to win, regardless of what's taking place. So it can come across as resiliency, but there's a front end to it as well where, which we just taken care of the last 3 games on the good side of the column, the win column, and that allows you to do that more consistently. So when you don't win or you don't start the game well, and then you come back and say, okay, we got to keep going, got to figure it out, then you're able to play consistently, win more, and then overcome when you don't get a win. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does. And consistency is something, I'll tell you, Shilty, it's been talked about so much with this team this year, and your consistency as well, consistency in the lineup and the lineup questions. I mean, I said it yesterday. It's getting a little tedious at times. I'm sure it is for you too, with everybody asking you, the lineup this and who's going to play and when. But I did want to ask, it's the advantage you have now with maybe some other players that you didn't have going into the break. He's one of the most talked about players in baseball. Of course, I'm talking about Luis Arraez, not by just our fan base, by others. He's such an interesting guy, 3-time batting champ. We know all the accolades. They talk about lineup optimization. And I wanted you to, if you could, explain to the millions of people that have been tweeting us about optimizing the lineup with Luis Arraez in the 2-hole and kind of what you see from him in that spot.
Yeah, listen, I don't read a lot of the stuff. I'd probably go pretty crazy. I know there's a lot of passionate people that care highly about our team, which is fantastic, and we're grateful for that. And one of the greatest things, one of my many mentors in this game was Whitey Herzog, Hall of Fame manager, and when I first started managing, struggling with some of the criticism just inherently come with the job, and I didn't struggle too bad with it because I was taught by some other people how to handle it. But one thing that Whitey said to me that was really helpful was, appreciate the fact that the people have an opinion, and that's how people were into it. The market I was in was pretty passionate too, and also the fact that everybody's played the game or has some connection to the game growing up, and they have an opinion and they care, and just appreciate that. So it always kind of helps me that that's real. As far as the lineup construction goes, I do think people take it to an extreme level, and I get the passionate side of it, but the knee jerk of whatever sample size is, 2 games, 3 games. I mean, it's really, quite honestly, can be unfair to a point, because listen, these guys aren't machines. I'm not one either. We put our best foot forward every day. I can promise you that. And we're always looking the best way to compete and use our pieces. And frankly, I feel pretty good about it. Now, specific to the lineup, specific to Louis, again, human being that is a well-established guy in our clubhouse, a well-established guy in this league, a guy that has to be considered very highly on the other side, and we compete. A guy that the day we traded for him last year, we had the winningest record in all of baseball from the moment we got him to the end of this regular season. We're doing okay this year, I think.
Yeah.
and he's won 3 batting titles, in a row. So there's just ebbs and flows that come with the season. And the wrap-up point, so, listen, can we move him? Absolutely. Have we? Yeah, we have. We've actually played with the lineup a couple of different times. The fact of the matter is, lineups are very fluid. Like I said, they're people. They're humans. I was asked last week about Manny. He's got 1 RBI in August. I said, well, You'll probably talk to me next week if you can remember, and he'll have 8. Hit 3 yesterday. If you think anybody asked me, said, hey, man, you stuck with Manny. He only had 1 RBI for the first 2 weeks of August. And I was starting to get some, like, what's going on? I'm like, he's fine. The game's hard. And, there's a confidence factor. I mean, the wrap-up point to this whole thing, and we could talk about it, for a while. And I get the question, but how would people feel in their own occupations if they've had a lot of success and something didn't go well for some small period of time? Now, look, we all know, I know, there's not infinite amount of, like, you get a chance, you got to produce. I get it. We get it.
Yeah.
We understand very clearly our level of production relative to, continuing to do what we do. But how would you feel if the equivalency of anybody listening had won 3 batting titles in their jobs and lined out and just didn't get a break here or there? And it's not really about Louis. It's about anybody,
Yeah.
And then somebody said, hey, you got to, you're no longer the CEO, you're, like, it just wouldn't, it's not fair. It wouldn't be fair. Now, again, it's not unlimited. There's production that needs to take place, but that's the way I see about lineups. And I do feel like my style, at least, is to trust our people, trust our players. And over the course of a season, when players feel safe and comfortable and know they're valued appropriately, and you're going to stick with them reasonably. And this is big picture. It's not doing Louis. Like, Louis doesn't even come to my mind, which probably blows people away. Like, Louis, who doesn't want Louis to rise up, puts the ball in play, competes his tail off, is actually at 4-17 against lefties runner scoring position. Who doesn't want that guy up? I do. But anyway, I don't know if that answered your question or not. Kind of a longer
It does.
answer.
It's just such a fascinating. He's such a fascinating guy, and it's not it's not just Padres fans. It's across the board. I mean, it's national media guys trying to figure out these days what the value is of a guy like Louis Arise. And I talked to his previous manager about him too, and he speaks the same. Says the exact same thing about him. For you, having to make that decision, that's the question I always want to know.
Well, that's not a hard decision. The guy won 3 batting titles. I don't understand what I understand. I guess I understand. It's about line production. I watch the games. He lines out a lot. He puts the ball in play a lot. He's second in Major League in the National League with multiple hit games behind Trey Turner. He's defensively in the last almost 3 full months since the beginning of June. He's got the second most outs above average at first base. He's playing excellent first base, second in baseball. I mean, and he's an energizer for our team and guys love him, and he
Yeah.
brings positive energy and competes his tail off. I don't know what the debate is about, quite frankly.
Yeah, fair. And yeah, that my thing was when I said the decision, I meant the decision. If for whatever reason you have to move him, or you did, and because like you said, he's had clean up a couple times or whatever. Does that kind of decision that you have to make? Is that a hard conversation with a guy like Luis Rice or anybody? Anybody with many years in the league.
Yeah, of course. I mean, so, but again, it's just my point is about the whole thing is like I don't live in a knee-jerk world. It's as simple as that. Now,
Right.
people may or not appreciate that. You're not going to please everybody. If that conversation has happened with any player, which they have happened, we have moved guys around a little bit. But I am looking for longer-term consistency. And you talk about resiliency. Part of resiliency is people being in a good headspace and knowing what they're going to have when they show up at work and be consistent and feel safe and know they're going to be able to be trusted. That's a good mental headspace for a player and a team. What's not a good mental headspace consistently is knee-jerk reaction to I don't know what externally is out there. That's not my purview to manage I'm not going to manage to the Twitter world or, whatever that is. I'm going to manage to what our staff, including our front office, has put this team together and do the best I can. And I don't know, we're playing for first place tonight in our division for as close as this team's been since, 15 years. So, I mean, I don't know.
I get it.
Talking with Padres. Go ahead. Sorry, Mike. We're talking with Padres manager Mike Shildt. The manager's report refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. So here it comes again. LA Dodgers. I think this is another great opportunity, obviously, for your team. Now you get them at your place as opposed to last weekend. We know last weekend didn't go the way you wanted it to, as you said. What, if anything, do you guys need to do differently, though, as opposed to what happened last weekend? Because it's going to be a lot of the same matchups that we saw, of course, against the same team in such a short period of time.
We just need to get off to a better start. I mean, all three games we were playing behind the whole series. We just couldn't get a lead. We had one lead to start the series. Lorana hit the homer off Kershaw off the foul pole, and then went back and gave up two, and we tied the game for half an inning in the third game, and so we played 3 games with one lead for an inning and one tie game for an inning. And, just so we got to be able to figure out a way to make sure we keep them at bay early and we get on top and just play the style of game that we need to play. Otherwise, it was a pretty evenly matched series. We just couldn't get on top of it.
One of my favorite moments from that series was Wandy Peralta opening just incredible. I mean, I thought he was incredible. The way that he's pitched, Shildt, since May? I think you were talking about the other day. He's been unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And that strategy, listen, everybody gets such a kick out of you get a new toy or you get a new idea. But I thought that really was effective. And is that something that you guys will look at? I know you're always looking for new ways to win a ball game, certainly, but that looked pretty good to me, and I think a lot of people out there.
Yeah, because it worked. If it didn't, you'd probably get roasted. Right? I mean, that's the thing about it.
How'd you know?
I call this show every 2 weeks.
It's a great answer.
I know
got to give you that one.
15 minutes of conversation.
Mike, I want to follow up on something you just said about playing with a lead. Psychologically, obviously, you want to have the lead because you can't win the game unless you're ahead. But do you notice that teams play differently when they're behind a couple of runs versus ahead a couple of runs? Is that pressure real, and does it change things over the course of a game, just being ahead by whatever it is, knowing that the other team has the pressure on them now?
Yeah, that's real. I mean, you look at which I do, and a lot of games are won statistically. Every game has its own life, of course. But you look at the win probabilities after the 6th with a run lead or 2-run lead, 3-run lead, the 6th. You're going to win 60% of your games, 60% of your games plus, depending on the margin of lead. it comes into play even more with our bullpen. Our bullpen's obviously really, really good. Not infallible, but, very, very good. And so, yeah, but that's the part of the resiliency that you let off with is if you can compete, and this is way harder and easier said than done, but it is something that one of the reasons I was pleased with yesterday. Day game after a night game, people think, oh, you should always perform, you should always beat your best. Well, those are hard turnarounds. These guys think about, Manny hadn't, right or wrong, he likes to play. That part's right, but he's participated in every game. We've used the DH to give him the appropriate days off his feet on the field. But, the point being is you're going to play 2 games within 24 hours. Okay. And then to get down what we compete against, talk about fairly a lot is, it's no longer the physical ability that's distinctive. You're in the big leagues, so people are super physically talented. So how consistently are you bringing emotionally and mentally to use your physical ability for whatever you have that particular day? And if you get down like yesterday, that's why I said it was one of my favorite games, is because we get down and we're and didn't play as well, and early wasn't as clean as we would have liked it to be, and nobody went, not our day. We actually, the converse of, we're come on, we got to figure it out, and we did. Now there's no guarantee to that, because the other teams have some ability too, and they have a say in the outcome. But I can tell you, when you have that mentality and you're not looking to give anything away in competition, if you get down, it's okay, we got to figure it out. If you get up, it's not enough. So there's a hunger factor that individually and collectively as a team, this team has, and it's a great trait.
Mike,
last one.
Yeah, go
last
ahead,
one
Woodsy.
for me. So I just had a quick, easy one. Wanted to just see how Michael King's doing, and Jackson Merrill, of course. Obviously want those guys healthy for the stretch run, because the stretch run is a real thing, and playoffs loom in the future. Want to make sure those guys are doing well and on the right track.
Jackson is. We'll see today. Today's going to be a big day for him. The good news for Jackson is there's nothing structural or torn, or nothing that is looming on anything that's longer term that's going to prevent him to compete at some point relatively soon. It's just a matter of how he's healing and his capabilities, and he's a tough kid, as we all know, and really, really wants to be in the competition with his teammates. We just got to figure out at what point, is he going to be able to manage what he has and still be productive? And today we'll look to see, take his temperature even more, and just see where he's at, and see how many days he still may need or not to make a decision if we want to carry him until that day takes place. And then Michael's threw a side yesterday, felt really good. Was encouraged about it. It's going to throw a simulated game on Sunday, 3-ish innings, 45 pitches or so, and it's just about recovery. If he has a setback, and clearly that's not good, but the knee's doing better. It's starting to stabilize a little bit more, be more consistent when he leans on it with his maximum effort. So it's just about recovery for Michael.
And did Toddy get a good night's sleep? Because he was having none of it when he heard you said you were ready to play the Dodgers last night. He wanted another day before he had to get back on the field.
Yeah, I'm sure Toddy's fine. I'm sure I don't know. I didn't tuck him in.
No, he was teasing me a little bit. He rolled his eyes. No, I'm not ready to go play the Dodgers yet. I need my beauty sleep. Mike, appreciate it. Good luck this weekend.
Thanks for bringing that up.
Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome.
Take care.
Yeah. All right.
There he is, Mike Shildt, the manager's report, refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. 5. I mean, he's right. This is a good team. Anyone who says otherwise is not being honest. The Padres are a good baseball team, Woods, and he has proved that beyond a shadow of a doubt at this point in the season. The only question remaining is how good can they possibly be, and can they go all the way? And that's why we watch as fans, and that's what we're going to find out over this last month of the season.
I love it. Hey, dog days of summer, man. I get you. I totally get it. I totally get it.
All right, we're going to take a time out.
New one. I got partnered today.
Yeah,
you hear it?
Partner.
I saw
partner? That. I loved it.
Are you taking off here, or you got one more segment? Or are we gonna say goodbye
one more
to
segment
Woodsy?
with you guys?
All right. Well, we'll get to the bottom of the hour here. We got some front row card show tickets to give away, VIP tickets coming up. We'll say goodbye to Woodsy and set the stage for the rest of the program here. The Round Report, all coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, Woods and I want to talk about Trust and Will. It's an online resource for people who, like us, have put off their estate documents for far too long. And I think we had reasons. I mean, it's not just your head in the sand, but it's also who wants to go to a lawyer's office and pay hundreds, even thousands of dollars for something that you really didn't want to think about to begin with. Well, now with trustandwill.com, none of that. You can do it easily online and from home and have real estate documents, a will or a trust to take care of your family when you're gone.
Man, you couldn't have said it better, partner. I thought it was really well said. And look, for me, it was like a guilt factor. I felt incredibly guilty that I hadn't done this yet with 2 kids at home and a wife. And, listen, things can change at the drop of a hat, as we all know. So make sure that you are covered. Go to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN when you check out, and you'll get 20% off plus free shipping of your estate documents.
Absolutely. It is just the peace of mind that you have is really important for you, but you don't want to get your family stuck in probate court. Lengthy, expensive process. It's a big hassle that can be easily avoided with just about 20, 30 minutes of your time. Again, go to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN to get 20% off at checkout at trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Oh, thanks again to the skipper, Mike Shildt. Big weekend coming up for the San Diego Padres. But probably whatever happens, on Monday, we will reevaluate where your San Diego Padres are. They can't win the division this weekend. And I don't think they can really lose the division this weekend. If they got swept, they'd be in a bad spot. But ultimately, it'll probably come down to the last month of the season. And the Padres and Dodgers won't play head-to-head at all. But, it's still, those games will mean just as much as every other game of the 162, and either team can still make up a few games or lose a couple of games down the stretch.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you want to win these games, and if for no other reason is that you're 2-8 against this team, as Darren said earlier. You're 2-8 against these guys. Obviously, regular season success means literally nothing when you get to the playoffs, but I think it goes a long way in showing that we can go out and beat a Blake Snell, a Tyler Glasnow, and a Yamamoto. I mean, those are the caliber of pitchers that you're going to face in the postseason, and it may very well be those three same pitchers. So it's kind of important for that, and I'd like to see these guys show up and play a lot better than they did last weekend. And like even Shildt said, losses, you can handle a loss, you're pretty competitive, but it is important. I don't want to downplay the importance of this series this weekend, certainly.
He did point out, and I like sometimes when you point out that obvious that is true, that the Padres just need to get off to better starts in these games.
Oh, yeah,
they buried themselves in all three games.
Correct.
Against the LA Dodgers. And after that, you can make the argument the Padres played better in innings 2 through 9 in all three games, or at least two of the three games, than the Dodgers, but they buried themselves so early that they never really had a chance.
You feel bad about spotting a team like the Rockies 3 or 4 runs in the first inning, 2 or 3 games in a row. You cannot do that with a team like the Dodgers. It's just not going to happen.
You can't. It's just going to be really, really tough. It's uphill sledding. It makes everything harder. It makes your bullpen management harder. It makes everything harder. You're looking at it going, oh boy, we're only 3 down, but still it's look who they've got on the bump. Look who we've got on the bump tomorrow. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot to process for any big league manager, and especially going up against a team like that, man. It's, again, very unenviable position that Mike Shildt has.
Woods, I want to wish you safe travels on your way back from Texas. We look forward to seeing you back in studio here on Monday, where we'll all be in a really, really good mood, or probably kind of in a grumpy mood when we get here on Monday morning.
Yeah, thank you guys for enduring me being on remote yet again. I really appreciate it. Thanks to all the kind messages, all the tier ones for all the kind messages to my dad. It's been great. It's been great to be home and see them, but I'm ready to get home and see my family now and see the tier ones. And yeah, man, hopefully watch some good baseball this weekend.
Before you go, we are going to give away another pair of VIP tickets to the Front Row Card Show at the Town & Country Resort on August 30th and 31st. If you want to start calling right now, we'll take the 6th caller at 833-288-0973. Join more than 400 vendors of sports cards, Pokemon, comic books, autographs, and other collectibles. Plus, vendors are going to be buying with cash, so you can bring your own collection to the show. Tickets are available at frontrowcardshow.com, or you can win them right now, 833-288-0973. Paulie and I will come back with the Rival Report, get some other headlines from the world of sports that we've missed to wrap things up on a Friday on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
But before I go, I will be heading home today back to my family and, of course, my Eco Water filtration system that I love so very, very much. I've had to, I'll be honest, I've had to drink some subpar water this week. I'm looking forward to getting back. Get the Eco Water system in your home. My buddy Travis reached out the other day and said, hey, man, give me the straight skinny. I said, dude, get this thing. It's incredible. You guys will love it. He's got 2 little boys, too. It's about giving your family the best that you can offer them. And Eco Water SoCal can certainly do that. They have absolute state-of-the-art water. It is the best water you will drink. It takes hydration to the next level. Get a free in-home water test today. They will come out, they'll test your water, show you how it all works, and show you this is what we can do in your home. It makes all the difference. It's no more hard water tearing up your plumbing and all that. So it's soft water. It's incredible. They've been doing it a long, long time. They've been keeping water soft since 1925. Try the Soft Life and alkaline water today, just $9.95 a month. Call 760-350-3338. Or, again, go to ecowatersocal.com. Make sure to tell them Woodsy sent you. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Eco Water, your water should be perfect.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Well, I think this has been an amazing 4 hours. Well, 3 hours and 39 minutes, Paulie, because somehow I think my zit has gotten better. I just not quite as angry red as it was early in the show. Can you see? Like
it has gone down.
It has kind of gone down a little bit. I didn't really do anything to it. No one came by. I had
Just naturally
a lot of tier ones offered to bring me some of the the zit strips or the patches that
I've
you
used them. Oh,
can
yeah.
put on your acne blemishes. And I had a really angry red looking one this morning, but it has calmed down just a little bit. So I'm happy about that.
Good. Congratulations.
So
I'm happy for you as well.
Woodsy is gone. He will be hopefully back in studio on Monday morning. And
He's
maybe
got a
this is
long
the
day ahead of him,
end
man.
of his travels. My goodness, he's put a lot of miles on.
No kidding.
in
And
the
it's
last
like
few
not
months.
easy traveling either. I mean, like you said, he's leaving now. He's got to drive 2.5 hours to Dallas. He said the rental car place is nowhere near the airport. He's got to drop off his rental car, then take the bus or whatever over to the airport, and then fly all the way back to San Diego.
And plus it's Friday, so I assume the Dallas traffic in
Oh, he
the
said it's a
Metroplex
nightmare.
is pretty bad. So
Nightmare.
yeah, he's got a very long day ahead of him today, but hopefully he gets back safe tonight, has the weekend to recover, watch some baseball, and then we will come back here at 6 a.m. on Monday morning, wrap it all up. I can do a little long tease. I've been texting this morning with our friend
yes.
Major Garrett, who's going to join us in studio on Tuesday for the second half of the program, which is always a treat. So something we can already look forward to next week, no matter what happens this weekend. We got Major Garrett coming in. Last thing to do on this program, though, is the Rindle Report. We will get to the headlines right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Been a little busy on our roads here, guys. Got this crash on southbound 163 just before Washington Street. It's over to the right shoulder. Also, northbound 805 Market Street off-ramp collision involving a couple vehicles. That's over to the right shoulder. Be careful on westbound 52 before the 805. We're getting reports of a rake bouncing around in the two left lanes. You don't need that going through your windshield. And collision in the center divide on the North 5 coastline just before Tamarack. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Rindle Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Rindle Report with Paul Rindle.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Rindle Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
All right.
I just saw this comment in the chat from Death by Palm Tree. Wants
Okay.
to know, I wonder how many tier 1s watch or listen from jail.
I would actually love to know that answer.
I
don't even know why, but I would love to know.
I mean, assume, people have radios in jail, so they can listen locally.
Do you get access to YouTube in jail?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't really know. But maybe the Menendez brothers, they were up for parole yesterday and today. First brother got denied yesterday. Parole,
really?
so they could still be listening at Donovan State Prison, which, our signal certainly carries out there. So if you are in jail this morning and listening to Ben and Woods, welcome to the Tier 1 community. We will.
Good morning,
we don't cast
Lyle
judgment.
and
We just
Eric.
we just appreciate that you're joining us every morning.
Yes, interesting way to get into the Ryan Dorp.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
All right, let's get started here. I was looking for some fun audio, and I don't know if this is fun audio or not, but Ben, get your thoughts on, so we got the NFL season rapidly approaching, and Mike Vrabel, head coach of the New England Patriots, was not too pleased with the media, actually. He was doing his weekly or daily, I guess right now in training camp, session at the podium, and he was asked about a report of a injured player, and he's getting very upset with the media getting injury reports before the team actually is putting out that information. And he says he's got a rat in his organization.
There's a report today that Jalen Pope will have to have season-ending shoulder surgery. Can you add anything to that?
No. I don't know, other than I'd like to find out where some of these come from. Some of these rats around here, so we'll figure that out.
Teams love to control the narratives around injuries, especially. So he was asked, if you couldn't hear it at the beginning, so-and-so, there's reports of a season-ending injury. Do you have any comments on that? And he just, no. Other than we got to find the rat who was giving out this information.
I don't totally understand where coaches think they get a competitive advantage over being so secretive about injuries. You certainly, if there's a situation where you've got a big game that week and you've got a player who's a little banged up, but they're probably going to play, you don't want to over publicize to the opponent like what's bothering him so they can take it, especially in football. Like, actually, this guy's got a pretty bad right knee. He's going to be trying to play on it. Well, if I'm the other team, I might be trying to hit that right knee a little bit more often if I knew about that. But if someone's, potentially having surgery and it's going to end their season, it doesn't affect anything at all that information gets out a day earlier or a day later. This is the obsessive need to control everything that you often see out of, especially football coaches. Like anything that is not, gets out of their control, that every bit of information, they feel like they're spinning out of control somehow. And I totally don't get that. I really don't. It shouldn't matter that much. That information, it might come out from the player's agent, or it might have come out from the player himself, which is absolutely legitimate. They can talk about their own health and their own conditions. It's not impacting the team at all to be just honest and transparent.
Let's move on here to the next story. Ben, I need your help on explaining exactly. We talked about this probably during Don't Do This a while back, but in the NBA, Malik Beasley, it was announced yesterday, he's no longer part of the gambling investigation that the league and like the district courts of New York were running. Now, what exactly happened? What exactly happened for him to be completely cleared of this? Because when these investigations happen, especially with gambling for whatever reason in sports, you kind of automatically assume that player's cooked. We're never going to see him again. And it doesn't typically turn out this way where it's like, actually, all clear. You're good.
It feels as though Malik Beasley got a really raw deal here because right there at the end of the regular season and the start of free agency in June, they announced this. Yeah, they're looking into some unusual betting patterns. I mean, we've heard this in baseball with,
first
recently.
pitch ball or
the first pitch
something.
ball. Like, are the players in on it, to help gamblers win money? And apparently one U.S. sports book noticed unusual heavy betting interest on Malik Beasley's statistics in certain games, specifically a game against the Trailblazers on January 31st. the odds of Beasley recording fewer than 2.5 rebounds moved like a lot because everyone was betting the under. And I thought, okay, this is weird. This is an unusual betting pattern. And so they opened this investigation at the end of the season. The thing is, he went over on the rebounds in that game. So if he was in on it, or I mean, he had no idea if he was in on it, or he would have gone under on the rebounds because that's where all the money was. So he didn't help out the gamblers. And apparently, after all this investigation, they've decided, yeah, whatever is going on, if there is something, Malik Beasley doesn't seem to be a part of it, and he's not a target of the federal gambling investigation anymore. Here's the problem. When it started was when he was right about to sign a new free agent deal, like a $40 million deal with the Detroit Pistons. But then they went on and moved on because, well, they didn't want to touch him with a 10-foot pole when there's a gambling investigation. And now most teams have already used all their veteran exceptions and salary cap space. So he's going to have to try to latch on with the team, presumably for far less money than he would have gotten. So in essence, this investigation may have cost him millions and millions and millions of dollars, even though it appears he did nothing wrong and had nothing to do with it, which is pretty crazy.
That is
like irresponsible
awful
on the part of investigators in this case to even imply that he might have had something to do with it. If they found out that he really did not, it's pretty wild.
I mean, he's like, whoa.
I can't control who's betting on me to do what.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I just looked like really bad at rebounding the game before, so they just all went on the under, and then I had a good rebounding game.
Yeah, I remember a couple of months ago when that story came out, and then just kind of didn't hear from it, and then all of a sudden completely cleared. I'm like, God, you don't see it that often where that happens.
And too many times when these stories, and we're guilty of it sometimes as well. We'll do a don't do this story, and then when the facts totally come out, it's not that exciting or interesting, so you just forget about it and move on. But at least we can give this some publicity, because it sounds like Malik Beasley was, if anything, he was the victim of an investigation that never should have happened, or at least connected his name to that investigation, and it should have been kept a lot more private than it was back in June.
And then finally, Benny, we will wrap it up with a local note here. And I think we talked about this just for a second last night with some of our YouTube members on the member stream. But shout out to his family, I guess, for the Mission Valley Hooters, which news broke yesterday that they will be closing up shop. And that's going to be happening here later at the end of this month, it says, is from what I'm reading. And that's going to leave just one final Hooters remaining in San Diego County. Remember going to the Mission Valley one a few times in college with some friends. Wing Wednesday was a big hit. And Benny, the only way we do things here on this show.
Wow, sad.
And I really hope we can see more unity and more peace when already things are so difficult. So, shout out to his family.
Just the one location in San Marcos if you need your Hooters fix.
There's just not that many owl-themed restaurants left. Because that is the theme of, it's an owl-themed restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Because it's an owl in the logo.
People go there for the owls.
For the owl. They enjoy the owl logo and the owl theme. That's why it's called Hooters, because that's owls hoot.
Correct.
Right.
We can do some research.
Hooter research. I think it must be, I mean, like hiring, being the hiring person. This can't be a fair way to necessarily do that. Like, Paulie, if you wanted to go and be a server at Hooters, you should be able to do that. If that's your dream.
I mean, I got boobs. I don't know that big of boobs.
If that's your dream, they shouldn't be able to stop you. That would be discriminatory if they didn't hire Paul Reindl to be a server, right?
What if they just decided, we don't think he's that good of a server?
You just don't have the stuff necessary to be.
It has nothing to do with anything else other than purely
chicken wings to a table.
Yes.
We've kind of analyzed, we've looked at your resume, and we just don't think that you're qualified
don't think you're a good fit
to
here.
bring out chicken wings to the table and to refill people's water glasses and get them their cocktails. So sorry, Paul, we're not going to be able to employ you at Hooters at this time.
Darn.
It is a weird thing.
Should we go down there after the show one last time?
One last time? Is there still a last few days?
Yeah. Said later this month.
Get your
Get a
final
little lunch.
fix in. Wood said he might take the kids one last time.
Yes.
Well, he's doing the single dad thing when Hannah's on her trip
He said he
to
might,
Hawaii.
the single dad weekend.
Yeah.
He might drive down to Mission Valley from North County and go hit up Hooters and then head over to Dave and Buster's. What's next on the divorced
miniature
dads
golf,
weekend? Yeah, mini golf,
perhaps.
boomers.
Yeah,
boomers.
and then maybe a kids movie at some point. Just hit the trifecta of all the degenerate dad things that you do with your kids.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nothing educationally responsible or culturally
That's no
enriching.
fun.
I know that's not what kids want to do. They just want to go out and have a lot of fun. All right, we got Padres baseball for you coming up tonight.
Here we go, man.
At 6:40, Sammy Levitt with your Eco Water SoCal pregame show at 5:40.
We play the Dodgers 3 more times and then we'll not face them again until, if we see them again this year, it'll be in the postseason.
Are you hoping that the Padres play the Dodgers again?
No,
because if they do, that means that they're both in the playoffs and they're meeting in the playoffs.
No, I never want to see them again after this
But
weekend.
the best case scenario would be you get to the playoffs and you don't have to face them
Another
at all.
team knocks them
Another
out,
team
yeah.
knocks them
That
out, and
would
you just
be-
go right through. I think ultimately, let's be honest, if the Padres want to get where they want to get to, it's going to have to go through the Dodgers again at some point. I'd be surprised if it didn't, but we'll find out. This hour on The Fan is brought to you by Nativa Interiors. This Labor Day weekend, 2 iconic design companies are joining forces for a warehouse sale. Join Nativa Interiors and Hold It Contemporary Home in Miramar for huge discounts on living, dining, bedroom, and outdoor furnishings. Call or text for more details at 619-215-6893. All right, let the stress begin. Another weekend
Here we go.
of Padres Dodgers. We will wrap it up for you all on Monday morning at 6 a.m. The Braden Soprano Show is coming up next for Stephen Woods and Paul Reindl. I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great rest of your Friday and a terrific weekend from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long.